I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
Here we go. Episode 29.
29.
So close to 30.
Almost.
Almost another
want,
benchmark.
I want 30 because I like round numbers.
We'll be there.
Yeah, soon. We just skip the even numbers? Would that work?
Well, we've just already got the drink, so there's no way we're stopping. We'll at least make it to that one for sure. That's a number we can get to. We have the drinks to cover that.
Yeah, there we go.
As long as we've got the ideas and the drinks sitting there in front of us, it's a little hard to be like, well, we're not going to keep doing it.
No, I'm done. I don't want to go. I don't want to play anymore. I'm taking my beer and going home.
Again, we'll hit our socials real quick, guys. We're going to try to do this as fast as we can.
Breeze right on through.
Kind of worked for us really well last week, I think. So we're just going to do this.
Helps if I don't interrupt.
It's okay.
Like I'm doing.
That's the last time. So we got our meta apps. Again, that's going to be, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I still don't know about that one. But again, it is there. It exists. It's a placeholder for now. Those are all just going to be Kentucky Fried Critics. No spacing, no anything. It's either a slash or an at, whatever that website uses. The next one we're going to get to is YouTube. That's the one that's a little bit different, but we've embraced the difference.
Yeah, we like this one now.
So that one's going to be at KFC Riddicks. A Riddick. So we're still looking for anybody out there.
Please.
If you're so inclined.
Draw me a Riddick. Whatever you think of Riddick.
Or tell us what you think a Riddick is.
Yeah, so we can bring this into existence.
We might do the legwork, but again,
if you get a good description, we'll use
someone else come up with the lore at the very least.
There we go. The origin of the Riddick.
Then we hit our website. The website's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics.
Boom. One day you will get to see exactly what I'm doing. I got a little beat in my head. Hold on. Boom. Boom. All right, go ahead.
But that's the one that's got all our hyphens. That's again, Bo's doing well with his addiction at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard.
He's on the upswing.
Yep,
at this point.
It's coming. It's just the love is still there, but I don't let it affect my job anymore.
The lows are we've moved past the lows. He's hit rock bottom and he's on his way back.
There we go. That indoctrination into the cult of the hyphen man's rough.
Then of course that only leaves us the email or the OG, the original way to try to get a hold of us or leave ideas.
Yeah, that's
preferably
the suggestion box.
That's right. That's going to be KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com. There you go, guys.
That was nice and quick.
And
I didn't interrupt.
All the socials. Look at that. I'm proud of us. That was
Me
really
too.
fast.
And I even danced quietly.
What are we drinking again this week?
Well, we broke out the schnappster.
Because we just had so much left over. We needed to do something with it. And
you had an idea for a movie for it that was just perfect.
It was. So that's going to be a early to mid 90s stoner comedy.
Yeah.
With people driving around trying to
get drunk, high, and laid, man.
That's right.
What else is there to life?
So obviously you know what movie I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. It's Dazed and Confused, right?
It's the Stoned Age.
Oh.
I understand the confusion.
I might have watched the wrong movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Obviously, I understand that description. They're both independent comedies.
Right. You could easily be like, no, that's Dazed and Confused you're talking about.
Right.
I don't know what other movie you're talking about.
I even forgot to say in our joke, even with as much as we said, right? Did I even mention that they're both in the 70s, right?
They're both set in the 70s, yeah.
Hey, these are so close to the same kind of from those descriptor words. Yeah. You can trick someone into thinking you're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, just just give your friend that description when he comes over. He's expecting, some McConaughey, and you throw this on, and he's like, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
Yeah, because they're very different. They just happen to have a lot of those catchwords that are the same.
Equally awesome, I would say.
Oh, I love this movie.
This was good.
It's definitely maybe something that is a little bit more problematic in today's society than Dazed and Confused. That being said, that probably means it's giving us a more accurate depiction of what
1970s was.
Well, certainly this small slice of life in the late 70s was like, for sure. So this is, like I already said, the Stoned Age. It's a independent comedy from the 90s, written and directed by James Melkonian. This is a movie that originally started as like a college short project that he had made, a short movie.
Nice.
That was called just Tax Chicks. As we get into this, that will make a lot more sense to everyone else. But he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. I like this. This was good.
Again, the only other thing that he's known for of any kind of real notoriety is the Jerky Boys, which is the... I'll just leave it at that. People that know will love that reference. They will know.
You've already laughed.
Yeah, it's already done its job.
Right.
By mentioning it.
You're just like, they all went, and then drove off the road.
But yeah, so this was a thing that started as a project when he was in college. It's great, though.
Yeah,
again, it is a slice of life. It's
a night on these guys' lives, right?
And again, they are high school kids. It takes a lot of the movie before you
Actually learn that. I thought they were at least in their 20s,
right?
Because none of these guys look like they're. One in this movie looks like they're in high school.
And it's summertime, so it makes it harder to you know what I mean? Like
because everybody's just out
Dazed and
driving
Confused.
around.
We saw the little bit of school time
in the movie.
Think about it though. If you didn't see that, how much harder it would be to know, right? Because the activities you're seeing could go either way. Field parties in the 70s doesn't mean high schooler.
My parents had field parties back in the 90s. So
you see what I mean though? Like you can't make that assumption.
Everybody loves a big bonfire.
So it's just that movie did give us the school, and this one doesn't.
Like this 15 is minutes. This is one was just totally, it starts out on the road.
People, and I would agree. People will say this is a stoner movie.
They only smoke weed once.
They mention it a few times, but they only smoke one time.
They have the bag of skank weed for like most,
and
of the
they barely
movie.
smoke. Now that being said, is definitely like I would agree a prototype of like what we would say is a traditional like late 90s
movie.
like 90s, because you know like you think Harold and Kumar, it's like this. It's two buddies. They go on an adventure
trying to accomplish a goal,
and
be it White Castle or get laid.
Dude, where's my car? Right, like you know, like this is definitely like a prototype of those type of like again like the late 90s type of like stoner comedy.
Oh hell yeah, definitely.
And so I'll give it credit for doing that. I don't know if anybody involved in those movies has ever seen this, but it definitely feels like they did, right? Like they feel it in the same vein, and this is made years before those. So.
Yeah, there are some definite like Harold and Kumar vibes.
So like we already said, though, this being an early project from James Melconian, and this being something that was roughly based on a college project, most of the people in this movie are not big name people. The biggest name people in the movie are what would normally in any other movie just be those guys. Yeah. Right? Like are those guys? Because they are normally just those guys. They just happen to be in this movie
where there's nobody.
They are the most important, well, not most important, but they are the biggest names. And so it's going to be Taylor Negron.
That's
you know what I'm talking about. He's the liquor store
guys, and they're dancing. Super freak. Yeah. What's up?
And then the other one is Kevin Kilner, who is he's the Officer Dean.
Yeah.
Again, right? It's a face who...
Yeah, you've seen him in all kinds of stuff.
I know that guy.
A lot of like kids movies, right?
Yeah. But yeah, he is definitely one of those guys. He just happens to be one of the more...
He happens to be that guy
notable people in this one. We've got the most notable name in the movie, but that's a specialty. We'll wait and drop that at the end when he shows up. Well, he's mentioned all the time. I guess maybe we can say this.
Well, we kind of have to when we start.
Once they hear us say the name, they'll already guess, right? Okay. So it's Frankie Avalon.
Yeah, they're the chicks, man. They're down by that place across from that old Frankie Avalon place.
Yeah. And so for anyone who doesn't know Frankie Avalon, that's Frankie and Annette, the beach movies from the 50s. Yeah. That's, you know, it's Frankie Avalon.
Yeah, beach party summer, baby.
In Greece, he's a beauty school dropout guy. He's the one that's singing.
That one in the clouds.
Yeah, he's the dream man.
Beauty school dropout.
So again, you know him even if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't know the name, you know the face.
That's right.
You know the hair.
100% you know the hair.
100% you know the hair.
But yeah, so he is definitely in this for a small cameo. Other than that, not really too many people that you're going to look at and be like, I know this person.
That guy.
There are a couple of people I'll point out. The dude who plays Tack, Clifton Collins Jr., he is technically, maybe not so much today, and maybe not so much for the kinds of movies that everybody else watches, but as we've already said, I watched everything from a very young age. Like things I definitely maybe shouldn't have been watching. Yeah. Like this movie. I was probably 11 or 12 when I watched this movie
you
the first time.
This at that age, no.
But Clifton Collins Jr. is one of those guys for me. Like I used to see him in everything. To the point that when I went back and watched this at one time, I didn't realize that it was, you know, like I had seen this movie a few times and I didn't know it was him underneath, because he is underneath.
He has all the like
zits and stuff, and he's got the
and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, it's easy to not maybe recognize him, because normally he's clean cut.
Weird
I want to say he's been like a cop in a few things. I mean, normally he's a very different look to him, but he is definitely one of those guys. He's been in a lot of different things. If you were to look at his IMDb, he's got like, it's like 128. Like, I mean, he's been in a lot of things.
I love those guys. I wonder if those guys technically make more money because they work more often.
There's one more person I want to point out. No, she's not super famous, maybe to us. This is like maybe to some more Gen X people on because she did a bunch of MTV stuff at one point. She was like a guest VJ. That's the girl that plays Jill.
She is super familiar. I feel
China Katner. She did a bunch of MTV VJ type stuff. So I mean, maybe we saw some stuff. I mean, we just would have been young enough that we just didn't know why she was on. Well, she just don't know why she was there, right?
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't have known the. But here's the thing that you need to know about her beyond that she was a guest VJ on MTV a lot. She is also the daughter of Jefferson Airplane / Starship band members Paul Katner and Grace Slick.
Nice.
So she is
kind of perfect for this movie.
She definitely has the people to give her the
background.
pointers that
like,
she needed.
Oh no, this is how we did shit in the 70s. Those are probably her mom's pants in the movie that she's wearing. She just went in the closet and was like, no, these. I loved these
Look,
pants.
this isn't another Sophie Coppola moment here.
Bring your own clothes, everyone. It saves on the budget.
And I can claim all the credit.
I'm just going to be me because I'm Sophia. I can imagine that with her like gigantic, long freaking nails and
now,
perm.
Everybody else that's in this movie, though, not really anybody. They're not people really of notoriety. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to name drop and you're going to be like, oh, I know that guy. But obviously, for the fact that this is a true stoner buddy comedy, we need to name drop our buddies at the very least. Even though people need to know who they were.
Yeah.
And so that's Joe and Hubs. Joe is played by Michael Coppola, Kopellow.
Your guess is as good as mine, dude.
And then Hubs is Bradford Tatum. Again, I'm not gonna say there aren't other people. If you watch this movie, much like a lot of these hidden gems, minus last week's. Last week's was like a hidden gem that it's just like weird that a lot of people didn't know.
It.
Although
it's social
media is telling me that a whole lot of people apparently people just didn't talk about it. It's not that they missed it; they just didn't talk about it.
My favorite comment: I thought this was a fever dream. Like, dude, man, I never even heard of it. So at least you got to have the nice dream about it.
This one is more obscure. And the thing about the obscure ones is there's obviously people that you might know from other things. You watch these types of things. So we apologize if these are people you do know.
I don't think we're going to make Jake Busey angry for
oh, yeah, no,
him.
I'm almost forgetting. Thank you for saying that. I always forget that. But yeah, this does have a but it's a small cameo.
He's there for like a half a fucking second.
Jake Busey. Lines. It's very early Jake Busey. He plays exactly the kind of character you actually would expect
him to
young
be.
Jake Busey to play. Like, because young Jake Busey is rocking hair that looks bleach blonde surfer, and preppy douche,
rich kid,
and he is all of the above.
Yeah,
right.
That's who he is in this movie.
I did forget though. Thank you for saying that.
Cool.
He is one of those guys though, right? Like he's only had like a couple of things where he's not just that guy in a movie.
Starship Troopers,
right? Even then, I would say he's just one of those guys.
Yeah,
right. His character isn't that important.
No, he kind of drops out in the middle of the movie, doesn't he? And then comes back toward the end.
He's a bully for a couple of scenes, and that's it.
Then they're friends.
Yeah,
and then he's just kind of in the background.
So yeah, I mean, again, like I said, he is one of those guys. So maybe that's why I forgot. All right, well, that would just be time for us to go into the movie itself. Getting into the movie, like we already said, this is a set in the
mid 70s,
late. I think it's supposed to be the late 70s. Yeah, but again, it's pretty ambiguous. They never give us a definite, but it's definitely the 70s.
Yeah,
mid to late. We can definitely agree on that. It's not the early.
That 70s. Early 70s when it was still kind of the 60s.
Yeah, Torrance Beach, California. It's L.A. technically,
yeah,
right? But Torrance and Torrance Beach are the main parts they're in, right? Starting with the movie, it kicks off. You know me, I like to go on. This has got one of those false starts, though, right?
Yeah, I liked this. This was cool.
When it first kicks in, you hear like medieval
drums and pipes and shit, and an epic voiceover
that just goes on and ends with "and fine chicks."
They go on a quest for honor, glory, and fine chicks, and I'm like, yes,
and you're like,
I'm on board. Let's go.
Definitely set you up for the kind of movie that we're about to get into, for sure.
Adventure.
Then as soon as that stops, we switch to crazy guitar riff, the wow, to set up for this. This is a badass dude,
right? It's got his super polished steel-toed boot.
Crump's brother. We don't even know that yet, right?
Like, that's all we get. Crump's brother.
It takes a while before we even know that that's him, right? No. I guess he hitchhikes, right?
Yeah, he's hitchhiking.
The dude that picks him up goes,
"Yeah,
you're Crump's brother, I thought you weren't going to be out of prison for like another
because
couple
what you
months.
did to that Samoan guy.
Yeah.
No,
The Samoan
they
guy.
let me out. He lived.
So crazy, but it just sets up. He's definitely a badass.
A badass.
People are afraid of him.
Yeah, he's that dude that nobody wants to fuck with.
Mentions he's got a couple of fine chicks. So.
Yeah, man, you got a couple chicks waiting for me. No shit.
Yeah,
no shit.
down in Torrance Beach by that Frankie Avalon place.
This is how the whole movie. That's how they describe where this house is. It's across from that Frankie Avalon place.
You know the one.
You know what I'm talking about.
Then finally, after another, it's not like a long scene, but after the weird intro and then this, we see from the vehicle trip.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly where Crump's brother gets dropped off, but obviously it was not at this house where these girls were,
Yeah,
because then
somewhere
there wouldn't
else.
be a movie, right?
Yeah, he's not
Story
there.
would be over already.
Right.
He had something else he needed to take care
He
of.
was going to
first.
talk to his parole officer or something
Yeah.
like that because he's badass.
Right. But so then the crazy dreadlock
Dreadlock dude,
guy
yeah.
that he had picked him up was telling the story to the rest of what we will find out later is a crew of guys called the Guzzlers. I love that. I love that.
Because that's what they do. They just sit in the park and guzzle brew all day. I'm
All
like,
day,
I mean,
every day.
Good name. Good name for you.
Very fitting.
Right? Worst ways to spend your time,
Right.
I guess.
But so he's just recounting the tale. And again, not the tale of the chicks. He's just recounting exactly what just happened to
Yeah.
him. And he wasn't even thinking about the chicks. And it was a part of the story. And as soon as he says it, everybody
His
else.
point of view is like, I survived an encounter with this guy.
But as soon as he says chicks, everybody else is like, there's some chicks,
I
man.
ain't seen a chick around here in a minute.
And you're just like,
Calm down, dude.
what kind of area is it? Again,
There are no women in this area, apparently.
in LA, right?
This particular area, apparently not. There are no women here. At least none that are talking to these dipshits.
Well, as they say out throughout the whole movie, man, I wonder what the ratio is.
yeah. There's only two of them. Aw, man.
Messing up the ratio.
Right? But
Yeah.
none of them want to try and go and talk to these chicks. They're like, no, I'm not going to go and take
That's
Crump's
brother.
brother's chicks, man.
Didn't you hear what he did to that Samoan dude?
Yeah, we're not going to mess with that dude. And there's the one guy, Tack.
One person in the group even says it. He says, "Man, you'd have to be one cold stone son of a bitch, something
Right.
He said
Crazy motherfucker to do that.
to take Crump's to worm on Crump's brother's chicks."
Yeah,
and you see Tack just like you see the light bulb
Yeah,
moment.
it just goes. He's like,
"Me,
got
I'm
you.
that dude."
Hold my beer. I'll be back, guys.
Except for he wouldn't have said that. He said, "Let me take your beer."
Yeah, give me your beer. I'm leaving.
But so then we see him take off. Now is when we cut to
Yeah.
the real opening.
Our real heroes of
and,
the
well,
story.
and like the real open, right? Like,
Yeah,
'cause
this
now
was cool.
We get like the title card, like the music,
Black Sabbath. Got some
Paranoid by Black
Paranoid
Sabbath,
going.
and they're just cruising around town. Our heroes, our buddies at least. I
Buddies.
don't know if I'd go heroes.
Definitely gonna call Joe the hero.
Yeah.
Our tale.
If there is such
there
a thing,
is one.
because it's barely that type of story. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely the most.
He's the only one that learns.
He's the most chivalrous.
Yeah.
too. I would give you that.
I can relate more to Joe than Hubs.
Yeah. So we see Joe and Hubs cruising around town in the blue torpedo.
Blue torpedo.
As we find out
this
during the
fucking
movie,
car, dude.
To me, again, it's I've said this to you before even watching the movie. This is the Mirthmobile, but with more character. It's Garth's car,
Right.
But he's got more character.
to it because it's got more like just bits.
Well, Blue
every time
Oyster Cult.
you watch it, you find more bits on the car.
There is so much Blue Oyster Cult,
plastered
like
all over this car. Band stickers,
card
album covers. They've just taped to
They've
the
painted
window.
it, the giant eyeball,
Yeah, on the hood.
and then there's the actual VOC Onk symbol thing, whatever it
cross
is.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's cool.
But yeah, so
Car's
obviously the car tells a story before we even get inside.
Yeah, you get a little bit of an idea of like these guys just
Yeah.
based on their car.
And then we see a little bit of in the car while this is going on, and we can clearly tell that there's supposed to be a hierarchy here.
Yeah.
Hubs is supposed to be the cool one.
Cool one.
Joe is the redheaded.
The redheaded little buddy.
Yeah, he is not supposed to.
He's the Gilligan to his captain.
He's the awkward one.
yeah. He's not really good at talking and
Certainly not for the type of dude that Hubs
is. Yeah,
right?
he's a shit talker.
He's a. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird friendship. You can tell they've
Known each other since grade school.
Well, and as we've established, these guys are in high school. They don't address it, and you wouldn't think it right now.
not until like
certainly.
halfway through
Yeah.
the movie.
So again, keep that in mind. I mean, it makes sense. In
Yeah,
high school, sometimes you're still friends with people that maybe you will outgrow at some point, but
yeah, they definitely don't survive college. These two.
there's no way.
No.
I wouldn't imagine that that's on Hubs's vision board.
No, he's
You know
not.
what I mean? Like,
he's
I don't-
not. I'm not going to college. college. Fuck that.
I don't see that being an aspirational goal of his by any means. They start having their conversation, right? Like, what are we gonna do tonight?
What's the plan? You got a plan tonight, man?
He's like, I want to go get this, and we're gonna find some chicks, and
We're gonna go get an ounce of coke. We're gonna get some Jack to take the edge off, and then we're gonna smoke some dank ass weed to get the bitches horny. And I'm just like, yeah, that's like $1,000 you're talking about. Where are you getting the money for this?
Yeah, well, and then that's when we get it, right? Then that's when Hubs goes, so what exactly do we got? What's their stock? What do we have?
What's our inventory?
First, he pulls out the old burrito, right?
Yeah, he's like, I got this burrito.
Don't know how long it's been back there.
It's like half eaten.
Chucks it back there. All right, seriously. He goes, we've got the crock. He says
the crock.
I love it. He goes, the crock, the schnappster. The reason we're drinking
peppermint schnapps,
our green schnapps,
schnapps here
in solidarity. Again, we just had so much. We needed to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Much like these guys, they just
they
had so much left.
They
needed to get rid of it. And it's kind of the point in the movie. There's
somebody has to help us drink this
They're
bottle.
Constantly trying to push it off on people, right?
Yeah,
like,
everybody
loves the schnapps.
They even tried to like trade it to tack at one point.
I mean,
they're like, we'll give these this.
They're trying to get rid of it. So obviously.
We're trying to get rid of ours too, so here's to you guys.
Yeah, we feel you. We're in solidarity. Here's to you.
Right, cheers, lads. Oh, I'm in tea.
Now let's just say we'll point out now. He says the schnappster always makes him hork. Let's hope for our sake.
But we're not trying to kill like a half gallon of this shit though.
Well, I don't think that's when it normally makes him hork. He's trying to drink that much. Let's just hope that maybe it's because they got a shitty brand, right?
Yeah,
like maybe it's a super cheap schnapps,
mostly sugar,
something, right? Like I don't know. Let's hope for our sake that
we got the better kind.
Yeah, we're not gonna hork.
We got the fancy schnapps. We're classy over here at Kentucky Fried Critics.
Now on top of the schnapps, so what else do they got in their inventory for the night?
They got like a half a joint of skank weed.
Some skank weed, not some skunk weed.
Skank weed.
They only refer to this as two types of weed when they're being honest about it.
Yeah.
They call it a few different things, but when they're being honest about it, it's either skank or ragweed.
Or ragweed.
Nothing else. Those are the colloquial terms.
No, man, I got some lumbo.
Yeah,
it's not golden lumbo.
Yeah, that's when he's lying about it.
It's like, dude, shut up.
Get some lumbo.
You're gonna look at that. You don't even have to smell it. I can tell that shake. Get it out of here.
Well, and in the beginning, he's real honest. He's like, it's that shit. Well, even
shit my brother sold me.
Even Hubs was honest about it when we asked Joe about it. He said, "What about that skank weed you got?" He didn't try to be like, "You got that good stuff, right? Wow, how much of that's left?" He was like, that only shit we have.
That crap we've been smoking the past 3 days. We got any of it left? We've all been there.
But so that's what they've got, and Joe is still confident. I mean, Hubs is still confident.
He's like, "Hey, it's a pretty good start. Now we just need some chicks."
It's like he's like, and that'll get him
right. I'm like, no,
you're just like, damn,
work,
dude.
man.
Like that's some.
I love your confidence, but that ain't gonna work.
Never gonna work. And so then they pull up to a restaurant, right? And they're like, Joe looks out the window and he goes, "Those you want to party with the buffalo chicks?
You want to party with the buffalo butts?" And I've seen the main chick, the one that actually talks. I've seen her in other shit.
Hubs is like, "No, man."
But they might know where the party is,
so let's go talk to him. And so obviously this, again, this is pre-cell phone, this is pre anything like that. So these are just the girls who always know what's up.
They're always at the party.
They're in the know. They talk to him and they're like, "So what's up? What do you know? What's good?" And they're like,
"There's a rich boy party out
in Palos Verdes."
Oh man, not the PV. I don't want to hang out with those queebs. What's a queeb?
I don't know. I don't know. But obviously when we see them later, I guess it fits.
I guess that's what that is. It's like,
makes sense.
I
understand
the douchebag.
Yeah, I understand.
There we go.
When I heard the name of the area, I already knew the type of dudes they were talking about.
Those guys. You all hang out at a country club, don't you?
Muldoon's, right? Because that's what his name is. Muldoon's parents are out of town. That's why it's happening out there.
Damn you, Muldoon.
And then this is when we hear about the Guzzlers the first time. Yeah. They got named. The Guzzlers out of the park. They got a case of Ox 45.
Ox 45.
Like, what's new?
Yeah, so that's basically their everyday.
Right. And so once they hear this, they're basically like ready to check out. And then one of the girls are like, "You can hang out with us and we could submarine." Fuck. I don't know what that means.
I wrote it.
Joe and Hubs don't know what that means. We have no point of reference, but it was disturbing.
What the fuck is a submarine?
I don't know.
Going down, I guess.
That would be
the
my
only
guess.
thing I can think of. But
that would be my guess.
But that was just a disturbing way to do it. And I'm just like, nope.
Yep. And that's exactly what they did. They noped their way right out of there. So they were like, okay, well, we still don't know what we're doing, but let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're going to get the fuck away from this. These overly horny, ugly chicks.
They start driving away. Damn, fucking tape gets stuck in the 8-track player.
Yeah.
8-track.
It ate my tape, so
And
put in another one.
8-track player, the we've talked about before. The one thing that we maybe didn't mention when we talked about them before was the fact that, yes, 8-track players were also single song tapes.
That was it.
So you better be ready.
One. And then you popped it out and put in another one and it had that song on it. I think some of them had two.
Yeah, if you were lucky.
If you were lucky,
you flip it.
You could flip it and it'd have another one.
Oh.
There's reasons why cassette tapes took over.
But yeah, so his 8-track messed up, and so he was like, all right, well, I'll pull it out. Different tape in. What's he shove in?
He throws in some Blue Oyster Cult, some Don't Fear the Reaper. Man, that's pussy shit.
Now, how absurd is it to know what that car looks like?
And then this guy get upset about Blue Oyster Cult?
But then we quickly get a clarification. Hubs just thinks specifically
this song
is
every band does one song to weed out the
to
fey people.
Yeah. They have the one song to weed out the people who aren't into the real stuff.
Posers.
Yeah, if you will. That's right. And so that's the song. He says that's the song that does it.
Joe, who I agree with, is like, fuck you, man.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
And it is a good song. But I don't care what anybody says. That guitar solo?
That's badass.
As he says a couple of times through the movie.
Yeah, dude. I can see how you would have like a spiritual experience if that happened.
Right now, we get a light mention of this. We don't get the full story. It kind of just slowly develops.
Yeah.
We slowly find out the whole story.
He's like, you've that weird hallucination about the eye again, like at the Blue Oyster Cult show?
You've not been right since then.
Not been right. You've been acting like a pussy ever since.
You've been weirding out on me.
Weirding out on me, man.
So we don't...
A lot of 70s stoner talk in this movie.
So we don't know exactly what happened to him yet, but we know something.
With
Blue Oyster Cult at a concert. Something messed him up, dude.
Right, and he's been thinking different ever since. He even says it. He's just like, man, I just felt like there was like more.
Now, this is that point where I want to say, we didn't say it in the beginning, the soundtrack. Because this is not a major run movie. This is an independent movie. Even.
Yeah, you could not do this shit now.
And it has a soundtrack that is crazy. Like we've already said, it's actually got Blue Oyster Cult. It's actually got
Black Sabbath.
As soon as
Cat Scratch Fever.
I was about to say, as soon as he has the problem with with Don't Fear the Reaper,
it headlocks him. He's like, say it sucks. Say it sucks.
Yeah.
And they're like driving all over the road.
He's like, fine, it sucks. And he pulls it out and they pop in.
Cat Ted Nugent.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, this movie is stacked.
Dude, I want the soundtrack for this movie. Blast it.
But so now, right now, though, as they're driving past, we see Tack again. He's
hitchhiking, man.
Yeah,
with his big tall boy and his thumb up.
So Tack is probably, again, if we're gonna say Joe is the hero, Tack and Crump's brother are the villains, right?
Yeah.
They are both equally the bad guy in different ways, right? Like
they're trying to stop our dudes from completing their mission.
Yep, of finding
booty,
find chicks,
man. That's the goal.
But so they drive past him, and Hubs is like huckaloogie on him.
All right, cool. We didn't question it at all. It's just because
Snot Rocket.
Fuck Tack, right?
Snot Rocket at him.
Yeah. Boom.
Nails him
right in the face.
And
big snot.
As soon as it hits him, though, he goes, "Hey, I got some chicks," and they're like, the kind of thing
Tack's got some chicks.
Definitely would have caused an accident.
Oh yeah.
They let him hop in the car.
After some intense negotiations, they're gonna try and leave him there. They're like, where are they? He's like, well, I mean, in the car. They're like, tell you what, we'll let you have this whole bottle of schnappster. And he's like, fuck that. Let me in the car and I'll tell you where they're at.
We got this bag of some fucking sweet lumbo. That's that skank weed your brother's pushing right now.
Right? Just throws it. But he barely even smelled it. He just kind of looked at it. I was like, fuck you. That's that bullshit. Get it away from me.
He's like,
why are you trying to leave me out of this?
And so finally they were like, all right, man.
Fine. Let him in.
He gets in. Still makes the mistake of getting in and immediately telling them everything. Yep. Like not just, obviously he's in the car. He has to tell them where to go. But he has to tell them everything. He tells them everything. Well, no, he leaves out the Crump's brother part.
Yeah, he does. He leaves out Crump's brother, but he tells them where the house is.
Because he doesn't want to sound like he wormed some chicks, because then it's fair game for them to worm some chicks.
Yeah.
Even though later on he will not keep that mentality.
No. It's first sight. Yeah. Right? Like that's the rule. Like I saw that bitch first.
But we see that they need to get gas. Well, and I love this because they tell him, they're like, you need to give it, how much money you got? Well, $6. We'll give it to whom? It's gas money.
That's beer money for the whole week. Shut the fuck up,
A,
dude.
it's insane that that's being. B, it's outrageous. He wanted all of that for gas money in 1978. That would have been a lot of gas money. That's 4 gallons for cruising around that night.
Yeah, that's a full tank, dude. We're good. They were already at half tank.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. They told him they were golden.
They were good. They were set for fucking gas for the rest of the night and probably some of tomorrow.
But they convince him. They're like, bullshit, dude. You got to give us
information without transportation don't mean shit.
It's the exact quote. Information without transportation equals dick.
There we go.
It's such a good line.
It really is.
And so they get his money. They stop. They get their gas, and we meet Crump. Not Crump's brother.
The actual legitimate Crump.
It's like the only time we see him.
Really likes hair gel, it seems.
This is the only time we see him, though, right? In the background, he's in the back. He's not.
There's one scene where
he speaks to his brother, but
again, their brother and them later, and he's like, "What the fuck?" It's it. He has like one more line after this.
It's so funny for a guy who we hear his name all the time. We barely fucking see him.
That's why he did the hair, so you'd stand out,
right? But so he is the gas station attendant by chance.
Just happens to be.
And while they're there getting gas, because it's the kind of place, he had to pump the gas, so he's like, "How much gas?"
Yeah,
and like $6.
Fuck that. 5 and a pack of Reds.
Damn, dude knows his priorities.
Yeah, he does.
Right?
But $1 for a pack of cigarettes?
They probably weren't even a solid dollar, dude. It's just he just had change coming. I'm sure.
That would have been so nice. Probably like 89 freaking cents for that back then.
But so while he's talking to him, while he's pumping their gas, he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys hear about the sweet chicks my brother's got lined up?"
No, man.
Yeah,
every time. No, we've never heard about
that. Out on Torrance Beach, by the Frankie Avalon place. Oh, but dude, it's a closed party.
There's only 2 of them, man.
So
sorry, he's all smug about it and shit. They're like, "Fuck, I bet that's those 2 chicks Tack was talking about."
It's they wait and they start to go back to the car, and that's what Joe says to Hubs, and Hubs is just like, "Well, fucking yeah,
of course it fucking is."
Dude, he literally said everything word for word that Tack said. Dude, like, Joe, think.
Yeah, but Hubs has a plan. He on the spot. This was actually pretty smart. He just goes back up to him. He's like, "Man, did you hear about that chick from high school?"
Her name is Desiree Gibson. You were right. You were right. I just was trying to get to my spot. I was looking to see
if I had wrote it down, but I didn't. Yeah, she's down at Dirty Doug's doing amateur
Polka Palace. Dirty Doug's Polka Palace. Yeah. I only know this because it's on the sign later, but he does say it too. Yeah. Dirty Doug's Polka Palace, which is apparently the strip club.
The strip club. Do they just play
Polka Palace?
How do you strip to polka music?
I don't know. Obviously, we know she's got to be like a high school sweetheart.
Yeah, for Crump's brother.
Crump's brother. We never know his name.
Yeah, because Crump's like, brother. "Oh, my brother was super into her, man." And he's like, "Yeah, man, she's gonna be down there one night, down like fucking miles away. Apparently, it was a good plan."
It was great.
Dude, he's all like, "Can you get me in?" He's like, "Dude, no problem. Just drop my name, whatever. It's fine. They'll let you ride in." And
so then they're like, they turn around. Joe's like, "All right,
I mean, that was a good plan.
But
we got to ditch Tack. No problem. I got this. Just start pumping the gas."
He didn't want to. He didn't want to ditch Tack. He said he was like, "Dude, I mean, I don't want to worm on Tack's chicks," but this is when Hubs throws the logic on him. And Hubs is like, "We're not worming on Tack's chick. They're not Tack's chicks."
Yeah, as far as we knew, none of that happened.
But this is the beauty. According to Hubs, their logic gets to be they can ignore either side when they need to, right? Like they're not Tack's chicks because they were Crump's brothers, but he doesn't. He pretends like they're not Crump's brothers because Tack was the one that mentioned it.
Yeah.
So again, like I said,
plausible deniability.
Whichever one he needs to be not the asshole for the current conversation, that's the one it is, right?
And plus, he could kick Tack's ass.
Exactly. That's what it all comes out to.
Like, I can kick Tack's ass. Yeah. So fuck him.
But yeah. So now they get in the car. He's got a plan. He tells Tack, "You clean my window.
If I'm gonna drive you all the way down there, I'm gonna need
the least
clean
you can
windows.
Do, right? That's the least you can do.
Right. I paid for the gas. Don't be a dick, Tack."
I want to point out, as we already said, 80% of this car is sticker.
Right. There's stickers on the front windshield.
Windows included.
Right.
What is he cleaning? What is it? What is he cleaning?
That one little spot right in front of Hubs, the driver's spot, just a little tiny bit.
And so then they brutally leave him though, because he grabs on the car and shit, punches him,
punch him in the face.
God
and
damn!
He rolls so hard, stuffing comes out of his little vest thing. He's like, "Fuck you, guy." Joe feels bad though.
This is like I said, Joe's a stand-up guy.
Joe is like, I mean, that was kind of a.
We're the ones worming his chicks, dude. And again, he throws down that logic. He's
Quit
like,
being a pussy.
They're not his chicks. We're gonna go over.
We're gonna
impress
laid.
them.
Fuck them doggy style and shit on their parents' bed. Yeah, I don't know about that. That was a wild line.
It was a wild line, and I don't know if he was exaggerating.
I hope he was. The first bit, fine. The second bit, don't do that. That's too far.
They finally make it down to Torrance Beach. First thing we see as the viewer is the sign. Former house. Home. Yeah, former home. Yeah, former
Frankie
home of Frankie
Avalon.
Frankie
and it had
Avalon.
the opening times. It's open from 8 till 11.
It's supposed to be run as a museum.
Right.
How nuts. How nuts. So the thing, it's just a house he lived in. On the beach.
I mean,
you saw the size of most of those houses. Don't get me wrong, they were nice houses for the 70s, but they weren't like big. They weren't the kind of thing where you'd be
gigantic fucking
this wasn't a mansion.
It was just a nice like ranch house.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, like that. It's what it kind of looked like.
You're going to be doing tours for that?
What are the exhibits like? Are they like roped off, or do you just get to like go in and sit in his living room on his couch?
I have no clue.
I'm not going if I don't get to sit on his couch. If I have to like just like stand and look through a door, fuck that shit.
Once they get there, they're like, which house though? And they look up and they can see Laney. They don't know who it is yet, but it's Laney for sure.
It's very much definitely it's
getting naked up in the it's nice all just silhouette shots
right
from
through
the window.
The curtain. It's like, ooh,
that's the house.
There's something going on over here.
It's got to be that house.
Yeah, let's go over here.
And so they knock on the door. Hub's putting on full fake confidence.
Yeah,
well, I guess for him, it's probably not even fake anymore, right? It's just that he is that like convoluted in his own head that he doesn't
that cool.
He doesn't realize how not cool he is.
What? Bullshit. I am exactly as cool as I think I am. How dare you attack my ego?
And he thinks he's the coolest shit in the world.
I love his advice. He's just like, all right, man, you got this. Just don't blow it. It's the only advice he ever gives poor Joe is don't blow it.
Then
it's not helpful.
The door opens and we get that guitar riff.
Yeah.
That again right now seems novel. We're gonna hear this so many times.
Like anytime the door opens almost.
Well, it's every time the door opens, every time they do a pan up shot, up and down. Yep. When they start hooking up, it's the same riff.
It's the same riff, yep. They like that guitar
as much
sting.
as we said they got the rights to a lot of like songs.
There's a lot of stock.
Apparently
guitar
there's a lot
riffs.
of stock.
That's just for like transitions and stuff, man. But there's some killer ass music in this shit.
But so Laney opens the door. She's wearing a Blue Oyster Cult
t-shirt.
It's like it's meant to be.
Destiny.
That's definitely what you can see all across Joe's face. Joe's like, oh, it's my chick.
I am in love.
Even though, again,
we're going to have babies and they will be beautiful.
Even though she is definitely out of both of their leagues.
She is. She doesn't look happy to see them at all.
No. Well, and then
she doesn't know who they are.
They're like, oh, we're here to show you a good time.
We heard
she's
you
like,
wanted a party.
Oh, so you got blow?
No.
Crank?
No.
Lewds?
No.
Well, what the hell do you have?
We got the schnappster. What am I, 12? This is not
what do you drink then?
151.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ, bitch.
All right.
Fuck, drink the expensive shit.
Okay, then.
I guess we can get that. No fucking problem, right?
That's basically what she says. She's like, well, if you guys can bring me some of that, maybe we can party.
Yeah, it makes me
crazy.
They
are already just both like puppy dogs, right? They're just both like, okay.
Though Hubs handles it much better than
he does, but he's
Joe,
still staring.
But he's still just kind of like, yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
And so it's time at the liquor store.
Let the liquor store guy. They walk in
before we see them at the liquor store. I was just saying it's time for them to go to the liquor store.
I can't wait.
This is our first cut though.
Yeah.
Now we cut to Hanky's house, right? Or no, it's just
he's on the phone.
It's just excuse me. It's the first time we see Hanky.
Yeah.
As I was getting ahead of myself on his house. Yeah, it's the first time we see Hanky. This is apparently the only person Tack is actually friends with. Like he knows the people in the Guzzlers, but
they all drink together. But I don't think any of them really like him.
I would hardly say that most of them would say he's a guzzler, right?
He just shows up and drinks beer with us sometimes.
So
it's just Tack.
And so
Tack the gack.
He calls his buddy Snot Rag. Hanky. His last name Norm Hanky.
Come on, Snot Rag, you gotta give me a ride.
You know my name is Hanky, man.
And I'm watching Dukes of Hazzard.
I'm showing up.
You piss me off now. I'm just gonna show up. No. That's it. That's literally the scene. Yeah. He hangs up and he walks.
Now we can get the liquor store.
Yeah, now we go to the liquor store.
This is where we get Taylor Negron.
He's full 70s disco, man.
He's Disco Dan, right? Disco Dan.
Disco Dan. Yep.
He's Disco Dan.
Totally is.
He's literally like doing the hustle, right? At
at the register, having a good time, man.
On their way in, they see the Samoan.
Yeah, the Samoan that Crump's brother beat the shit out of, and he's bandaged,
rough,
and
he's rough,
walking with a cane.
He's got the whole leg. The whole leg is
all splint and shit. Poor guy. And he dropped his cigarettes on the ground. He's just like, fuck.
They're in there to buy the 151. Taylor Negron's like, you gonna boogie with the Foxes tonight?
Right.
You should get the Annie Greensprings, which is specifically what the girl made fun of them.
Yeah. It's like, what, are we gonna drink some Annie Greensprings or something?
No, I had to look this up. Because I was like, what the fuck is Annie Greensprings?
Yeah.
It is essentially like the 70s version of like Boone's Farm. Like it's wine, but not wine.
Not wine.
You know what I mean?
4%.
Yeah, it's not Mad Dog. Well, and again, like it's Boone's Farm, so it comes in like not wine flavor. You know what I mean? Like orange creamsicle. Yeah. It comes in all the weird tutti fruity, and you know it's candy in a bottle.
Razzleberry.
Yeah, candy in a bottle that's got some booze to it.
Yep. If you drink enough of it.
And so I was like, oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Sorority princess wine right there.
Well, that's exactly why he said all the Foxes want to drink it.
Yeah. Maybe in 1972 when you were still cool, buddy.
Yeah. So they knew they weren't taking that, but they knew what they wanted.
The cop walks in and he's like, I need ID. He's like side-eyeing him and shit. And they're like, fuck.
Well, they were going to buy it.
Yeah, they were going to buy it. He was going to let him.
Taylor was not going to stop
No,
them.
because
Disco Dan.
Even Hubs was like, dude makes like $1.50 an hour. He doesn't give a shit. But as soon as that cop walks in, his tone's changed immediately. He's like, I need ID. And he's like eyeing the door like, dude, guys, over there. It's fucking cops.
Just look at him.
Right?
Please.
And they're
Please
like,
look at him.
oh, God damn it. And they try to leave and the cops stop them and shit. And this is our first, you guys probably think.
Officer Dean.
Officer Dean. And you guys probably think I'm a butthead speech.
Yeah. Because he wants to be everybody's friend,
Yeah,
right?
he wants to be the cool cop.
He's like, I'm not here to be a dick.
Right. You think I didn't want to go guzzle some beers with the boys?
Like you probably think I'm a real butthead. Like he always starts with, you probably think I'm a real butthead. Then he always has something that he thinks is going to make him relate to them. And this one, they used to call me Dixie Cup Dean.
It gets real close on his face. There's all that like nostalgic heart music and shit. He's remembering.
Like, now get out of here, boys.
They're just like, all right, fuck, man.
Joe's like, dude, we fucking failed.
We're so screwed, man.
Hubs.
I mean, you can go home and jack off if you want to, but I'm getting laid. Pulls the bottle out. Yo, he swiped it.
Like I said,
discount.
All it would have taken, though, like I was getting at, 5 minutes less time before the cops showed up, and they would have made it out. Because Disco Dan wasn't stopping.
Shit. He did not. He was totally going to sell it to him until
he
the cops
wanted them to hook up with the foxy chicks. He wanted them to find the foxy chicks.
He wasn't stopping them. Liquor store dude. He's a real dude. He's a real dude. He's like, I know what's up. Y'all trying to get laid. I'm here for you.
Right. Now's when we actually get to go to Hanky's
house.
He knocks on the door. Hanky answers, and as soon as he sees Tack, he is literally just like,
I'm not going.
I told you not to show up, man.
My favorite TV show is on. He just wants to watch TV.
Who swoops into the door? His mom. And his mom's like, I think it'd be a great idea. You need to hang out with people more.
You need to get out more.
You be
have
with
fun,
friends.
Right.
And now
Don't eat too many hot dogs.
And now we see, other than the fact that obviously Tack has been walking for miles. They showed us the sign
with
so we knew,
like 5 miles to wherever.
But and this is probably his, again, we've said only friend, but it's also probably the only person he knows that will let him be in a car. But on top of that, it's a sweet. It's a muscle car. He's been working on this thing
all summer, man, and he lets this dumb fuck drive it.
Yeah, I can't believe he lets Tack drive it. Like, that was a step too far.
Like, I will give you a ride. You are not driving the monster. That's what he calls it.
Yeah. Well, and rightfully so, dude.
The engine on this, man. Ooh, I want one.
Now he has got wheels, and he is on his way to try to stop.
He's got to stop Joe and Hubs, man. They wormed his chicks.
Again, poor Norm Hanky can give two shits about these chicks.
He just wants to watch Dukes of Hazzard. Right? The man clearly just likes cars and TV.
Joe and Hubs make it back over to the house. You know, the house across from the Frankie Avalon place. When they get there, they knock on the door. We hear the music.
Guitar music.
This time it's panning up.
Different chick. She's got like jeans and like a flannel shirt.
They get about halfway up the shirt, and then the music changes.
Kind of sours.
The frumps a little bit.
Right? Like, wong.
And they're like,
who the fuck are you?
We talked to the blonde chick.
The hot blonde chick.
Yeah, short. You know, I mean, is she? They're like both like looking around,
like trying to look
door.
past her. Like, did we get the wrong fucking house? Was this a trick?
She goes, fuck.
Lainey. There she is.
But
What
yeah,
took
so-
you guys so fucking long?
That's our introduction to Jill. If you ask me, Jill's the cooler chick.
Yeah, I would have much rather have hung out with Jill.
I loved her attitude.
Lainey would have just been mean to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I would have gotten the treatment that poor Joe gets from fucking Lainey.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
exactly what would have happened to me.
But yeah, Jill was the cooler chick anyway. Like, the attitude,
I would
the
as soon
funniness.
as we
like,
went in there and she's reading a book, I'd have been like,
What are
"Fuck,
we
what were you reading? Is it good?"
But yeah, so they were like, you gotta let us in now. And they
Yeah.
make fun of him for a little bit. It was a homo sponge bath party, right? That what
Yeah,
she
that's
said?
2 doors down.
Yeah, it's
She's
golden.
like, "No, we're here to party."
And she's like, "Pff, whatever. You guys couldn't even score.
I don't party with little high school
And he
boys.
goes, even ones that got
And I want to point
one
out
of these
this
sweet
is the-
Oscars.
This is the first time we figure out they're high school students.
Yeah.
Is when she says that. It's
Yep.
like, oh, I thought you guys were older.
Sweet Oscar.
What is that?
I don't know, but that's what he called
It's
it.
Jamaican rum. Was there a Jamaican guy in the 70s that was really popular named
I don't
Oscar?
know.
Maybe
I don't know, dude.
But
But
have to look.
But they got the
Hey,
151.
and that gets him in, man. It's like the magic key.
And then what do they instantly do with the 151?
Dump it in Sunny D.
Could they have not just got any kind of booze? If that's all you're going to
Just
do
any
with
kind
it.
of rum, really.
If
Rum,
all you're
vodka
doing-
is pouring it in fucking Sunny D, you can do it with anything.
It doesn't matter. It didn't have
Except
to be
maybe
151.
Bourbon. That might be
I
weird.
get that it was stronger,
Yeah.
but beyond that, does it matter?
Yeah, well, you could have got the cheap shit too. Fuck.
Redonkulous. That's I couldn't believe it.
I mean, we've
was
all
like,
done it, but it was usually with like a bottle of Kessler or something.
it's just ridiculous.
Some Heaven Hill, fucking $4 a pint.
Now's what we see Lainey starts putting it on Hubs hard.
Yeah, immediately. Like, dude, poor Joe never had a chance from
Right.
second one. Like, as soon as they sit down and he hands her that bottle, she is eye banging the fuck out of him.
Then when they're talking though, they said something about how it's Lainey, it's Jill's dad's house, and for a second, this was outrageous to me. Joe and Hubs got mad, visibly mad when
Right.
she said it. They were like, "We thought you were from up north."
Right?
Like they were gonna be like, "If you're locals, we
Like,
want
fuck
nothing
that,
to do with
because
this."
we might run into you again and have
Right?
to talk to you.
It's
the whole point of chicks being from up north, man.
It was so crazy that they both were visibly almost like upset, like when
Almost
they were
like a
like,
spit
"You're
take.
from here?" And they're like, "No, just her dad. Like she
Yeah.
lives with her mom."
I'm just visiting her dad for the week.
It was just like, "Damn, dude,
Right?
calm
Relax.
it down."
Everybody just calm down.
Now they bring up the Virgin Killer.
Yeah, you
kills
look
them.
like the chick from the Virgin Killers album, which is how she will be described from the now on from everyone else in the movie.
Yeah, I had to look this one up because I was like, "What is this reference?"
I have no idea.
There was, and forgive me because I just looked it up briefly, so people can slay me in the comments if they need to, because I don't remember what band it was, but the name of the album was Virgin Killer.
Ah.
The reference here is that, again, she's supposed to be a high school chick, right? The reference here is that the original album cover for this album was a nude shot of a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, that's not okay.
And then it got taken off the market and a new one came out with a different picture. And so it's a super rare album cover to have.
Yeah, I imagine.
Now, that's why, though, in the movie, they specifically don't call it the Virgin Killer album and Virgin Killers as if they're alluding to a band because they want to make the reference, but maybe not the spot on association,
Yeah.
right?
Because that's not okay. I don't know how that got through. There's a lot of people that has to go through on an album cover, right?
Yeah.
Before it gets approved.
You'd think so.
You would think
this 70s are a wild time,
I guess.
as we already pointed out with our movies from then, man.
This is true, and there were some super fun things, but some stuff wasn't okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it was okay. I'm just saying
I'm making sure that they understand that we know that it's not okay.
no one was saying that any of that behavior was anything but bad.
Yep.
While they're sitting there, Joe starts talking to her about Blue Oyster
The
Cult.
oyster cult and
'Cause
the
it's
laser
so-
hitting him, and we
Yeah.
get more of this.
We get a little bit more. We hear how it was at the show. The laser hit him in the face.
and it was like they picked me, man, like out of the crowd. It was awesome.
And the next thing I know was 2001 like.
Right? And there was a
Huge,
giant
gnarly
eye.
eyeball. And then Hub stops and he's just like, yeah, Joe's been going through some shit since then.
Right. I like how when he like kind of comes out of it, it cuts over to, and like they're all just kind of like just staring at him like, okay.
Now is when we get another one of those lines just referenced constantly throughout the movie. Jill looks over at Lainey and just goes, kind of reminds you of Mondo Man, right?
He does.
Now, this, though, blows my mind. They say that so quickly, right? And then immediately, though, Joe is like, who's Mondo Man?
It's just some guy.
But I don't know about you, but when I heard her say it, I didn't think she was talking about a guy named Mondo Man. I thought she was talking about a guy named Mondo, man.
I thought she said Macho Man the first time.
But
and I was like, how? I had to rewind it.
But either way, it's amazing that they all are just, everybody's just immediately like, oh, she means his name is Mondo Man.
He's just some dude.
Mondo Man.
I love that when every time somebody's like, who's that? There's like, just some dude.
Who are those people?
Just some dudes.
But yeah, so he's just some dude.
Yeah, just some dude.
They know.
Yep.
Joe is fixated.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck's the deal with Mondo Man? He randomly asks Hubs.
Because the girls go off to have a conference.
What do you think the deal with that Mondo Man is?
If I could let it go. I can't.
Then we see the conversation upstairs, right? And Jill's like, Lainey's like, we can't give him a shot. Like, I mean, we don't even know them. You can't be that harsh on them. And Jill's like, come on. They're literally probably downstairs right now, pissing in the ice trays. Cut to
them pissing in the ice trays, giggling like madmen.
Did she know the crowd or did she know the crowd?
That was good. They put it back all careful in the freezer and shit. Right about the time they come down, you're like, what are you doing? Just eating some food. Don't worry about it.
And while they're talking, what do we have happen? Tack busts in the door.
Yeah, as soon as she opens it, he just walks the fuck in.
If Hubs came in with some overstuffed confidence, Tack came in just full-blown machismo, right?
Just walked in, sat down, made himself at fucking home, he cracked a beer,
the place,
right?
Dude.
Fuck this guy.
Literally like they were Tack's chicks.
Right? Because that's what he thinks.
We can understand why the short was called Tax Chicks. If the short had any part of this moment of the character,
this probably might have been the short,
right?
Him busting in and
dude,
shit.
Makes so much sense,
right?
Yeah, dude, that would make sense, right? Like, and then in like the shock part of the short is when we find out that they're not even tax chicks. Like when somebody's like, brothers. They're not even yours, dude. They're Crump's brother. Yeah, dude, that'd make for a good short.
Right?
Good call.
Yeah,
we need to track it down and find out.
We should. That'd be cool.
That'd be our follow up.
Yeah, if anybody,
we could do a short. On the short.
Dude, if anybody knows how to do fine things, help us.
Back on track. That is great. That's great. But yeah, so Tack is there. Joe shows up first in the room. He tries.
He's like, let me handle this. And he gets nut shot by Tack. He's like, fuck you, man. Boom. And hits him in the balls.
Then Hubs makes his way in.
Yeah, he's just
to try to handle the scene the way it should have been.
You're fucking up the ratio. And Tack's such a fucking sleaze, dude. He's just like, oh, man, it's okay. There's
enough to go around.
Dude, fuck you. Get the hell out of here.
That's a line.
That's not cool,
far.
Dude.
But then that's
about when Hubs grabs him. He's like, "You're done, dude. We're getting the fuck out."
Beating the shit out, and then the girls are just like, "Whoa! This is fucked up. This is what you guys do here.
Weak.
We're looking for a party. Like that's all we want is a good time.
Not a bunch of dickheads fighting in my front room."
Tack. Oh, there's one down at PV.
Down at PV over at Malone's place or Muldoon's place.
Muldoon, dude. Muldoon.
And they're like, "Oh, cool." And Joe's just like, "Oh man, you don't want."
No, Hubs.
Yeah, Hubs. He's like, "You don't want to party with those preppy rich boys."
Cut to in the car.
In the car on the way to preppy rich boy party.
And they pull up, and I gotta point this car out. It is the douchiest looking Volkswagen I've ever seen. Right? Did you see it with the black and the like? No, that being said, I want this car, but I can just again in the 70s that was definitely douchey.
Now it's cool.
That's the most vintage, dopest
cool
looking.
As fuck.
The white square, fucking rectangles and shit.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That was cool.
But again, in 1978, that was probably the douchiest fucking thing in the world.
Definitely.
Like the guy who owned that, the guy who had that specialty paint job on that. Exactly. It was his whole personality, right?
Like, oh no, it costs like so much to get this done. I had to have it sent to like Germany first to have it primed.
Specialty paint
He'll
job.
talk to you for 5 hours just about his freaking paint job.
Then when they get out of the car and they're walking up to the door, literally Hubs and Joe are already ragging on the party. Fucking goddamn, here's disco shit. God, what are we doing here? As soon as they knock on the door, instantly we see Jake Busey. Muldoon
He opens
himself.
the door. The girls get to walk right on in, and he cuts him off.
He literally looks so much like his dad.
Right?
It's absurd.
It's nuts.
I remember being a kid thinking to myself, again, because like I said, I was like 11.
Yeah.
Like, so I knew who Gary Busey was already.
You didn't know he had a son, so you're like, man, he looks great in this fucking movie.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what is this movie really from the 70s?
Right? It'd have to be for Gary Busey to look that fucking young. No, it's his kid.
Yeah, it's his kid.
And he's great.
And he's He's a tool.
He is a total tool. And
He
shit.
plays it well.
Oh man, he's not letting these douchebags in. He's like,
No,
"Oh,
no, he doesn't let any guys in.
I got you guys a keg of beer.
It's ladies' night.
Right? You guys go out there. I didn't get you a keg of beer to drink with you assholes.
It's so nuts that he's got a keg out back for the guzzlers.
For the guzzlers and the douchebag or the dipshit.
Anybody who's trying to show up
losers.
uninvited. Yeah.
It's nice to give him beer, I guess.
I guess it's still, as they said, fuck these Palos Verdes douches.
Right.
Fuck.
Well, why don't you fucking do something? I would have if you didn't have such massive upper body strength.
Did you see him? He did.
He did.
I wouldn't have fucked with him.
He had some guns.
I wouldn't have fucked with him.
Dude, he's really, really tall, too.
Then we see
I mean, you're definitely swinging up.
Then we see Tax still getting mad, accusing them of stealing his bitches.
They're not your bitches.
I know, dude. He just won't let it go, though, right? Like, he always brings it up. Then they notice
Fuck
they're
you.
walking towards the back, and then finally that's when Hubs looks up and he's like, it's our boys.
It's our boys. Oh.
They hit up. They walk up to him. They're like, "What's up, guys? What we got to drink?" No, wait, no, that's not even how it was, right?
Here's your beer.
He hands it to him. He takes a swig, spits it out.
What is this? Horse piss?
Oh, St. Helens malted ale. You know, pussy rich boy beer.
Stuff makes me want to hork.
Everything makes these people want to hork, unless it's
Ox 45, baby.
Some tall boys.
Tall boys, gotta get the talls.
So we've not even. I want to take a moment here. We didn't mention this in the beginning, and we've only seen so far for something that stands in your head, right? The Ox 45, the tall boys. It's only been mentioned like in passing one time,
but
so
you
far.
see it all
it's
through
plastered
the movie, everywhere.
I did look this up for us. It was originally going to be Colt 45. That's what they wanted. Colt 45 wouldn't sign off on it because it's all underage drinking in the movie, and they didn't want to endorse underage drinking.
I get that, but fuck, damn it, that'd been cool.
But so since they didn't, the people behind the movie said, "All right, well, fuck them. Ox 45 it is." Like anybody's not going to know what we're
talking about.
Which again, guys, I understand means me and Bo probably could have done Colt 45 and it would have been great. But I feel like if the people who made the movie respected what Colt 45 said enough, we should respect it too. And on top of that, I just didn't want to drink a whole bunch of malt liquor.
No, I didn't either.
I've done that plenty of my life.
Too much. I'm usually Steel Reserve, but still.
I'm too old for a bunch of malt liquor.
Yeah, me too. I like craft beer and bourbon.
Yeah.
I drink fancy now.
I'm pushing the limits
with the schnapps.
With the schnapps that could make me
reliving our high school days of when it was hard to get booze and you just kind of had to drink what you could get.
Just wanted to throw that in. Since we finally had a good moment where we were mentioning that beer, because from this point on, it definitely is mentioned by name
a bunch,
a lot more. But yeah, so they're out back drinking the shitty beer. They ask, "What's the ratio?"
It's about like 35-3 out here, but I'm sure it's better inside. Cut to inside is literally just all chicks.
Well, and the 3, it's the Buffalo chicks again.
Yeah, because they walk up.
Yeah, and so
boys,
it's literally
you ready
3
to party.
So it wasn't even like one of those lines where they were like making a guess.
Making it up. No, it was literally those 3.
3. Yeah,
we counted.
Yeah, and again, so obviously nobody wants to party with them.
No. They're too eager.
Joe starts looking in the windows.
Yeah. Sees Laney going off with Muldoon.
Fucking of course.
Fucking Muldoon. God
but
damn
then he
it.
walks to the next sliding glass door.
And they're talking and he says something bad because she slaps the shit out of him.
She jack slaps the fuck out of his mouth, dude.
Right? She caught his ear. What are you talking about? He's going to be feeling that shit tomorrow.
It was bad.
Going,
it was the whole side, dude. She got him with the forearm.
Right?
It was the whole, everything across his face.
Everything.
That huge horse face that Jake Busey has.
It's a huge target.
Yeah, she definitely clocked him, dude.
To his credit, he does just walk away. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, I got slapped. I'm out. I'm just going to leave.
And so then Joe's like,
you good?
Everything all right?
She's like, man, fuck that guy. What's a girl got to do to get some drugs in this town? So you slapped him because he didn't have drugs?
Right.
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
That's how it sounded.
And he's like, I mean, I got some lumbo back in the torpedo.
Bitch, why didn't you tell me? Let's go. All right, let me get Hobbs. I mean, fucking why?
Yeah, we don't need Hubs.
Oh, okay, cool. Maybe you're going to do your boy like that? Really?
These are the moments where Joe, again, we said Joe's the good guy. This is the part where I was like, he needs redemption from something bad because so far he's done nothing wrong. This is like the small, minuscule time where he's trying to be
chick.
Well, that's not even the thing. I'm not even worried about that.
Ditched him at a fucking party and shit.
That's bad too. To me, it's just the overall machete. This is literally not him. All of this, like the trying to go take her.
This shit.
Yeah, like that's not him.
It's not how you are.
He's better than than that. He's not trying to take some chick for the night. He's
Right.
literally already proven that. All of this, you're like, everything you said too, but I mean, like,
that's a
like,
much deeper reasoning.
Yeah, all of it doesn't
My
make sense.
reasons were superficial.
Well, I mean, it's superficial to not want to be fucking the chick too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, none of them are not superficial, but they are all, they're all deep on their own and in their own ways. I was just saying, like, there are many, was all my point is. Like, you said many and I named a few more. There are lots of reasons why I don't agree with this little mini character arc of Joe's. I just have a huge problem with all of this part, though.
Yeah.
Like, basically the next, like, 10 minutes of Joe. Because it's so much out of character.
Trying to not be himself.
Exactly. That's what it really comes down to, though, right? Like, he's at this point of the story,
trying to not blow it. Like,
at this
Hubs is always saying.
At this point of the story, he is trying to be Hubs. Like, right? He's not being him. He's trying to be what he thinks Hubs wants him to be, and that's the fucked up part. That's why I don't like it. This is my least favorite, like, 10 minutes of the whole movie.
This is the dark period of Joe's little story here.
But so when they first walk out the door, cops are showing up, right?
They're getting raided,
urinating in the neighbor's pool. That's
which was definitely tack, because the last time we saw him, he was like, "I gotta go take a leak," and walked off.
God damn it, tack. It's always tack.
It's always
dude.
tack the cack.
Now we see Hubs finds Jill.
Where's everybody else?
And instantly gets pissed off. And I want to point out how fucked up this is. Because when they went to go hang out with the girls, there was no talk of whose was whose, right? Nope. All it was is that the ratio was good. As we hear throughout the whole movie. The ratio hasn't changed.
It's good. There's two of them. One for each.
The ratio is still the same.
Yep. Why is he mad?
Because Hubs is an asshole and he's proving it right now.
Yeah, he wants the hot blonde chick.
And he thought, oh, it's a guaranteed. Joe doesn't even need to be told that. He understands.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
I'm the cool guy.
He's gonna jump on the grenade here for me.
Fuck this
fuck
dude.
That guy. He's an asshole.
I mean it.
Seemed so cool in the beginning, didn't he?
The longer you see him,
you're like, you're a fucking
we all
asshole.
know guys like that.
Yeah,
right?
we all know this guy.
The longer you're around them, the more you're like, man,
fuck, you seem so cool.
You're not the person I thought you were. It's all the fake, like bravado and machismo wasn't so fake. It was real. I just thought it was fake and funny. Now I realize it wasn't. So it's actually you.
You are actually that much of a douchebag. Okay.
Then that's definitely what I feel like.
No. Every dude listening right now is like, yeah, I know exactly that guy you all are talking about right now.
Definitely.
And maybe one guy going, oh shit,
I might be that guy.
Yeah,
it's chances are, if you don't know one, you might be that.
Yeah, if you don't know one, you might be that dude. You can change. It's okay.
Joe and Lainey get out of a car they hitchhiked with.
Yeah, apparently the guy said something inappropriate
to Lainey. And Joe, again, this being some of the fuck that, like, this real Joe comes out for a second. This must happen to you all the time, man. That's so fucked up,
man. And she's even like, yeah, every goddamn day. And like, I believe it.
And it's like,
that's
Joe.
You. That's who you are. You should do this.
Embrace that
all the time.
Nope.
Stop trying to be Mr. Cool Guy.
She convinces him to
go jump in the neighbor's hot tub jacuzzi thing and shit, and they go to jump. She knees him straight in the face when she's boosting him over the fucking wall.
Well, and then they get over there and they do the sexy guitar riff again.
Yep, sexy guitar, because she's getting in her new bikini with the puka shells. Those are real puka shells.
No, he asks.
Yeah.
Are those real puka shells? Yeah.
Jill's dad
got this for me.
Not creepy at all.
Yeah, that was our first little, like, nudge to the weirdness of that relationship.
She says right after, like, yeah, he has a crush on me. And I'm like, that's not okay.
Yeah. And it gets
worse later.
And then we see this is when it starts to get comical with the guitar riff, right? Because now we get Joe taking his clothes off.
His shit
and
off,
we get the guitar
riff. He's got the like Rocky and Bullwinkle freaking.
It's Ox 45.
Oh, is it Ox 45?
It's Ox 45.
Nice. I just saw like little horn things on it. So
it's the Ox 45.
And he's unfortunately like this pale pasty ginger.
He's a pale
with like
red
guy. Chest hair and stuff. It's like, ah, man.
Hey, he's kind of cut though for a little dude.
No, I wasn't saying any of that, man. But that red hair, man, glows at night.
It does, yeah. Especially with those weird like 70s pool lights that are shining up all around. Like the ones that are like
the lighting did not help him. He looked like a ghost.
Although now while we're here, what happens?
She looks at the weed.
Yeah, this is so funny. He's making the
can pipe.
Trusty can pipe.
Yeah, we all know it.
And she's like talking to him. She's like, let me look at it. At first, he's not letting her look at it. He's kind of holding it. He's like, talking about it. He's like,
it's not as good as this stuff I usually get. But it's all right.
It's all my brother had. Yeah, you get high.
You'll catch a buzz. Don't worry about it.
She takes a look at it. Fuck. and
throws it in
now,
the water.
I'm sorry. No, ma'am. No, Laney.
No,
we don't
no,
waste things.
I don't care if it was skank weed. You
We
don't
don't
throw
waste
it in the
things in
water
this house like that.
No, you smoke that shit. Be happy you get to smoke it.
You don't waste anything.
Especially in 1970 something when you can't just go down to the dispensary and freaking get it.
Party foul. Party
Huge
foul.
one. I would not have been okay with her just throwing it at. It's like, yeah, okay, I lied, but don't throw it in the fucking water. But he doesn't really even get time to complain about it, does he?
No, as soon as he's going to, he does get it out of the water.
Yeah, he gets it out of the water. I don't think it really got wet.
Yeah, before he gets to complain about it, who shows up?
It's fucking Hubs, and he chokes him and hauls him up out of the water.
Ugh.
You motherfucker. Cock block me?
Well, this is where it gets so messed up because, again, like you said, he's at first mad that he's there with Laney. Then he tells him, you're screwing up. She's not naked.
She's not even naked. You're blowing it.
Then he's mad at him for Laney again. And then it's like, dude, make up your mind. Are you mad that your buddy's not fucking her? Or are you mad that he tried to fuck her? Are you mad?
Yeah, pick one.
What? You can't be mad about all
sir?
of the above. It doesn't get to work that way.
Everything. He's just mad in general. You ditched me. You have my girl. You're not doing it right anyway. So just sit down, shut up. I'll show you how it's done. And then he jumps in the jacuzzi.
And then she jumps in the water. He follows her.
Yeah, after he forces her head under the water.
That was so... I know, that's what I was getting at.
She was giggling, and it worked. How'd
it should not have worked.
It only works in TV land.
And it's outrageous.
And then they're making out in the pool like 2 seconds later.
That's when she's... That's right, you're right. That's when she escapes into the pool.
Bothered me. I was like, why are you...
No, it's totally messed up.
You should be so pissed off at him.
Yeah. And then Joe goes Planet of the Apes.
Literally ape shit. Like, he's just throwing the tiki statue in the water,
the pool furniture.
Shit. And they're like, "What the fuck, man?"
Well, and at first, Hubs gets out like he's mad, right? Like, and then as soon as he gets out, he sees it and he's like, "Oh, I get it.
We're monkeys. I get it." And then they throw the big table in the water.
2001
with the monolith and shit.
We got to. The whole movie. Is the whole movie is a bunch of 2001: A Space Odyssey. So they must really like the movie, right? Do you think that's what that whole deal is? Like that's why he keeps bringing it up. They like it.
That's their favorite movie.
You think it could be? Dude.
That's what they bonded over.
Maybe, man.
Way back in
we're finally making sense of it, dude. We're finally making sense of it. Then we get
bringing people together.
Then we get the dude comes running out.
The like big Japanese guy with a baseball bat. And you sons of bitches swinging at freaking Joe because he's the one that goes after the clothes while the rest of them run off and shit. And he ducks, dives, shoulder tackles, pushes the fat man in the pool.
And then they all make it.
And they all make it back to
next
Jill's.
Door.
Yeah, literally just across the street.
They didn't go that far.
I think that guy could have figured out like
where they were,
where they went. Well, those wet footprints going to that house.
Well, you'd think he might even be like, "Isn't that my neighbor's daughter who's here every 3 weeks?"
Right? That's that hot blonde that's been at the house for the past like week, right? That I haven't totally been staring at.
It wouldn't be that hard for him to know where they all went.
No one calls the cops in this place except on the Muldoon's party, apparently.
And so then Laney goes upstairs to change.
Mm-hmm.
Joe again, this is the last of the 10 minutes that Joe pisses me off.
This is the worst one.
This is the penultimate. This is the God damn it, Joe. Stop trying to be Hubs.
Didn't even give you the look back.
She didn't give anybody
a sign. If she would have looked back at you when she was going up the stairs, then maybe possibly try for it.
She didn't even give Hubs the look back.
Like she just went upstairs. Like
she just
I'm
said,
"Go change my fucking bathing
not
suit."
Sultry.
That is not an invitation. You do not follow a bitch into a room like this.
But again, she didn't even invite Hubs.
Nobody.
But she would have been okay with it. We saw her. She did look over her shoulders when the door opened. She thought it was Hubs,
and it wasn't.
And she shot him down.
She's immediately called, like, "What are you doing? I'd like
to
change."
And he didn't listen.
No.
Again, like I said, this is the part Joe really bothered me because I like Joe. I want to like Joe.
I do too.
And it was like, Joe, don't stop, Joe.
He had to make mistakes to learn.
He did. I get it. I understand.
He learns a very valuable lesson.
Yes, because he gets his ass beat.
This bitch has a fantastic headlock takedown. She immediately grabs
drops
him
to the ground, dude.
Puts
to
him
the ground.
Boot to the throat, like, stay where you are and don't touch me again.
Good.
And in 2 seconds, like, they teleported into the room.
They're
Jill
all standing
and
up,
Hubs,
like,
they're just
looking
all
down
looking
at
down
him.
on him. Like,
she tells him what happened, and he's just like,
I mean,
that's not exactly it, but
yeah, but I was being a creep, and I'm sorry.
Then we get a cutaway back to the PV party for a second. This is our second time with the cop. This time he hits us with I know you guys think I must be a butthole, but they used to call me Quick Dick Dean, because at this point he caught them in somebody else's house. Well, yeah, because when the party broke up, the Guzzlers essentially went inside the party house
and tried to take the kegs
of the even better
beer, I guess.
Because again, the outside
now the cops
beer
are
was
loading it into their car.
Well, and the outside beer had to have been different beer than what was inside, because he wouldn't buy them
to the rich people. This outside beer was the cheap
bad
shit.
Beer. I don't even understand.
I don't either.
But again, the point is, he made the Quick Dick Dean joke because he thought they had been breaking into houses, and he was like, "I used to be a good second floor man too." I don't think that means what he thinks it means.
No, I don't either. Second floor man's the guy who goes and breaks in through the second floor and opens the front door or the back door or whatever.
Maybe he did mean that. Maybe as a cop he shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, don't say that. That's bad.
Again, though, he wants everybody to be his friend.
Yeah, he just wants. I'm like one of you guys. Like, we're not that different. Bonding.
But so the cops are like, "We're gonna leave you guys again," because they just don't want to do the paperwork.
There's like 20.
There were 20 guys out. The entire group of the Guzzlers plus Tack and Snot Rag. Yeah,
Hanky, don't call me that.
And then literally we hear the whole group essentially just like, well, Tack rallies them.
Yeah,
we can do this, and then they're all like,
those chicks.
All we need is some booze.
We just need some Ox 45, and those chicks are ours.
Yeah.
And there's off to the liquor warehouse, I guess.
Oh no, Prump's brother.
Oh yeah, this is where we cut to the polka Dirty Dick's polka strip.
Yeah, Polka
Emporium.
Palace. It's the Polka Palace.
Polka Palace.
Where
poor Polka Man.
Where Desiree Gibson was not dancing.
Was not. And he was lied to.
Crump just beat the shit out of what sounds like everybody inside the club. Again, we don't get to see inside, but we hear him beat the shit out of a lot of people.
The shit out of people, and he's about to beat the shit out of poor Crump. Who told you this shit?
It's just these two dudes.
There's just some dudes. It's always just some dudes, and that's it. That's that scene.
But that scene lets us know
they're coming back.
Time's run out.
Yeah, we're running out of fucking time. That was our magic leeway to get them out of the way.
It is now time to wrap this shit up. We need to get going. We see boobs.
Boobies. Yay. Who doesn't like some boobies?
And we totally find out that 100% Lainey wanted Hubs.
Yeah.
Joe gets to see it.
From the second
but you know what I mean.
There. Yeah.
We have our music playing. This was what I was saying. Like, so the music doesn't only play when we see girl, yeah. This was boobs, and we had it play, and now we get like sexy time starting with Hubs giving the thumbs
up. Yeah, man. But
because this is all happening because he snuck upstairs because Jill was like,
"You guys get the hell out of my house before I go to the neighbor and make him make you leave."
And so he snuck upstairs.
Joe has to go and be like, "Hey,"
he wanted to be like, "Yeah, let's leave," and he was just being ignored. Hubs gives him the thumbs up because again, he's a sleazeball,
fucking douchebag.
He was like, "Watch us."
Yeah,
you can watch.
Check me out how fucking cool I am.
And again, this is how nasty
Not my reaction.
And how nasty he is because instantly Lainey sees him and she is like, ew, he's like some kind of creep. He's trying
he's a perv.
And it's like, dude, if you only knew that he was literally just telling him to stay and watch. Encouraging
like you did not
him.
See the thumbs up from a second ago.
Again, Hubs is trash.
Yeah, I don't think Joe should hang out with Hubs anymore.
No, definitely not.
Use him for rides in the
and 100%. It is not surprising at all that Hubs doesn't care. Like even once he says that Jill doesn't want them there, he doesn't care. And it's like, again, this isn't Lainey's dad's house.
No,
this is Jill's dad's house, and Jill said she doesn't fucking want you guys there. Maybe you should fucking listen.
This probably isn't even Lainey's room,
right? And then all we get from Hubs is, dude, don't you know you had to jump on the grenade?
Go downstairs and bang the ugly chick for me while I do this. What's wrong with you, man?
And I'll point out Lainey is a shit friend. Yeah. She doesn't even try to say anything.
She does not defend her friend at all. What? That's kind of fucked up.
Fucking bitch.
I would be like, don't call my friend a grenade, you dick.
We got nothing. She didn't care
and
at
I
all.
Like Jill. Fuck the rest of these
that's what I said. She's great.
Yeah, she's the cool one.
We get cut to the liquor store, right? We get to see what they're doing.
They've boosted poor Snot Rag.
Well, and we realize now, earlier we had heard in passing Officer Dean say something about the other liquor store. Remember when he
got knocked over?
And now we
don't know anything about any missing Ox 45s.
It's the group of the Guzzlers.
Yeah, it's the Guzzlers. They just go around and rob liquor stores. Gotta stay in beer somehow, man.
You're right, though. They shove Snot Rag inside. He gets inside, opens the door, starts handing him beer out. First case. As soon as he hands it out, gets one guy. He's already about to hand it to the next guy, and he looks at it.
These aren't talls.
Send it back.
fucking get us talls, man. He hands it out there, and he's like, man, he doesn't get out much, does he? Fucking tell me about it. And then just conveyor belt of fucking big tall ass cans.
Gotta have the talls.
Yeah, man, the talls are where it's at.
Now we're back to Joe, who's trying to go run after Jill, right?
Yeah, because she's going outside to go get the neighbor to get the fuck out of here.
And he's just like, no, let's just talk. Let's just hang out. Let's just chill a little bit. You don't gotta be like that.
Look, I brought the schnappster.
Because he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
He is desperately trying to get rid of this
Somebody
stuff.
please
drink this stuff. I don't want to drink any more of this. It makes me hork.
He does. He just keeps drinking it.
And then she kicks his ass.
He gets beat up a lot.
Poor Joe.
He gets beat up a lot in this
I don't
movie.
understand,
but
what?
He wasn't even, like, the first one, he did do something.
This time he didn't.
He was just kind of like, tapped her on the shoulder like, hey,
this.
and she just whips around, kicks him right in the dick.
Really didn't need my nards anyway.
It's not like I was using them. It's
I
fine.
love that. Love it.
She feels bad. She's like, all right, maybe I didn't need to kick you in the balls, but fuck you. What do you see in Lainey?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. No, he says, I don't know. She's really interesting.
She has a great personality. Oh yeah, like I've not heard. No, she doesn't. She has a terrible fucking personality. Fuck
she
you.
calls him out on it,
and he calls her out. She's like, "Well, you're just jealous," which she is.
Yeah,
she wants all the attention that Lainey gets, but doesn't.
Well, and this is that thing I was telling you. Like again, like this movie is full. As many of you listening, if you've listened to our other episodes, might realize, it's got maybe some problematic language and stuff compared to nowadays. So
we're not act this way around women.
We're not quoting a lot of the lines as much as we might usually do, because there's not nearly as many that are quotable without offending people and just doesn't fit in today's society as well. The language is kind of, and just the topics are maybe even off the wall. But this is one of those scenes where like you really feel the independent moviness of it.
They're trying to get some feelings going.
There's a good moral thing. There's a good story. There's like a story in hidden inside the story here. One. And this is where we're really getting it, right? Like we get to see some real moment with these two. They're having a very real,
they're gonna call each other on
They're
our
breaking
bullshit.
Down the fakeness and stuff, and they're calling each other out on it.
You just want Lainey because she's hot, and you're mad because nobody looks at you because Lainey's always there.
Yep, pretty much.
So cool. We know more about each other.
And they're both in the shadows of their friends, right? Like,
because he's even like, well, what did Hubs do that was so cool that he should deserve to get laid?
Well, and he also was like, oh, you think he's dangerous?
I'm dangerous, and then immediately falls on his ass. You're more hazardous, really.
So again, like the whole thing is it's essentially, it's just that they both should understand each other better than they do, and they start to realize that, like, oh, we're both second fiddle to people who shouldn't be as important as they are. People shouldn't care about these people
who honestly we're not going to be friends with in 5 years,
right? And so like I think they start to see each other for who they really are, right?
Which was nice.
Yeah. It was. Once we wrap up our very deep, very personal, good, great conversation that was hidden in this movie,
a little bonding moment.
We see Joe look up at the moon,
and it turns into the eye again.
He thinks the eyeball is following him now.
And he's like, oh. It's only for like a second, and then it's
he
snaps
shakes
back
it away.
out of it, and then we go back toward the house,
and we see that he drank all of the rest of the schnapps.
He just leaves the empty bottle.
Jeez,
Jesus
dude.
Christ, because I think it was like a third of the way.
If
full.
anybody's gonna hork, it's gonna be him.
Oh yeah, and then we get the march of the guzzlers. I love
right, and they're just chanting
alcohol,
and they literally start like sitting them down, like they're making
like a tower of beers.
Well, it's like they're literally like they're sacrifice, like, you know what I mean? Like these
sacrificial beers.
This is
to the women.
This is their offering to the altar of these hot chicks.
Right. We offer up Ox 45 unto you, O beauties.
It's so funny because this is another one of those. Jill looks over and she sees the group of guys chanting, walking up to her house, and she says to Joe, "Who are they?"
Just some dudes. They'll probably leave. Let's just wait.
It's fucking just some dudes. Just some dudes.
Yeah, but she's not having that shit. She goes and confronts these dudes.
She busts up through the front, and it's so funny. These are my friends, Mike Dick and Mike York. And she just goes, "Are you from New York?" No. What the fuck? What the fuck was even that line, dude? That was so insane. I don't know, but
it was funny.
And then she hits them with what is this? A meeting of the mentally gifted minors? Literally, she was so smart for all of them. Every single guy outside, almost in unison. Huh?
It went right over their fucking heads. She said it too fast. That's
it was great. And then again, like they couldn't even process it to the point that the one dude just straight up called her Hogly. Like he couldn't even think of a word, so
this
he made up a new one.
Look like the Virgin Killer Salad.
She's Hogly. Like what does that even mean? And then Tack. The other one's the foxy one. Oh,
it's enough to piss Joe off because he comes in, gets a little bit of a spine finally for
a little
about
bit, and he
second.
stands up for her, but then he still says it wrong.
Yeah,
right.
Because they're like, she's fugly. He's like, nah, man, she's pretty fine. They're like, I
wouldn't kick her out of bed.
That look she gave him when she was.
And she stomps off.
Look, just like, are you?
Did you seriously
serious?
Just say that?
Did that really just happen?
These are talls, man.
Yeah, that was.
Thought
good. You thought you were gonna get in here by bringing some beer, fucking Ox 45.
These are talls.
Yeah, these are talls. Fuck you, man. And then they fucking grab him and they're gonna beat the shit out of him. And this was the most gentle beating I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, it was. And then he gets the upper hand, right?
Star Trek style. Did you see me double hand fisted him right in the balls?
Tack shoving grass in his mouth, which was definitely a line too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Joe gets the upper hand, flips it over again, breaks up the crowd a little bit. Starts talking to Tack, mano a mano.
And we get a little
deep again.
We get a little deep from Tack here, man. Nobody,
right? Like we're talking about.
No fine chicks are gonna want to get with a crater face like me.
You just don't understand. That's why it's so hard for a guy like me. I mean, it gets really deep, and you're like, he's really getting somewhere.
Joe is
right?
like, I feel you, man. Maybe you can find a chick with acne problems too.
That way, you guys got something in common. And then immediately Tack hits him with the, I don't want no chicks with zits. I want fine chicks.
We just had a breakthrough. You fuck.
2 seconds.
Even Joe was like, man, you used to be a cool guy. What happened to you?
God
it's
damn.
Like, I mean, the glimmer of the past was there. It's gone now. He completely shut it down.
It's over.
So he makes a break for the door, but
Jill saves him.
He still catches that beer can, man.
He catches the beer can, and it's bruised. He looks bruised when he gets inside too, like bad.
He's got a little cut. He's all bruised and fucked up.
But she saves him.
She did let him in.
She felt bad. She made sure. She let him in the door, and then she immediately hits him with the,
so you wouldn't kick me out of bed, huh?
She was definitely in that cute kind of sarcastic tone. You could hear it. She wasn't trying to be a bitch. She was trying to be flirty with the way she was saying it to
this
him.
was another nice scene. I liked this scene where they're on the couch.
Yes, it's so good.
He's just like, man, fuck these guys, dude. I just said that to get them to shut up and stuff.
Yeah,
and she's like, no, it's cool. I get it. Stuff. And like right then they can hear fucking Lady and Hubs upstairs just getting it, which is awkward. So they're just like, man, I wish we had like some weed or something. He's like, I got some Lumbo, my bad.
Yeah, I got some Lumbo again with the lies. And then he immediately stops. He's like, I'm gonna stop being that guy.
Like, hang on,
I got some rag weed. It's this
weed.
ditch shit that my brother sold me. But I mean, it's something. And she was like,
to catch a buzz. She's like, whatever, spark it up. Let's do it.
Again with the can.
The can pipe, man.
And we see at this point while they're smoking, the Guzzlers have officially made the front yard.
It's a siege, man. They've cut it off. They're out there.
The front yard is just where their party is now. Yeah,
that's what we're doing. They got to come out sometime, right? It's fine though. They're inside jamming some slow ride, smoking that skank, buddy.
More fucking sounds from upstairs. Just can't get away from it.
Yeah, just can't get away from it. But they have a nice little talk.
They keep having the talk. It's so good. The second time in the movie where, in case you forgot that they're in high school, they bring it up. Yeah, so we have this other nice little moment here. But as soon as they're finished talking about their like high school career, she just randomly goes,
I gotta take a dump, which was not what I was expecting. It came out of nowhere. They're having this nice like bonding moment talking about stuff, and she just stops. She's like, I gotta take a dump. And chick.
They were talking about how the weed was making them feel a little weird in the stomach, right? That's how I took that. As soon as she exits room, like that's when Joe all of a sudden like realizes, oh fuck, I'm
puke.
Way more drunk
I'm gonna puke
than I realized.
This is bad,
right? Like they do the nice spinny for the camera
and shit.
So
gets in like close and then pulls out and stuff.
And so he's looking for where he can throw up.
She's chair. Well, he tries to go outside and shit. But
he can't.
Pelt him. So
chair.
He's only got the one option. What's left?
He lifts the chair.
Just lift the cushion. Have at it. Cover it up. Nice.
And then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Take a nap.
Just pass out. It's totally fine.
Wakes up.
Never happened.
Yeah. Wakes up with Jill right beside him.
She was just chilling next to him. Just like, I was like, oh, that's cool. She's just kind of waiting for him to wake up.
Even when he first wakes up, you can even they still have the like slight woozy spin effect with the camera.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's so good. They immediately just picked the conversation up from where, like, basically it stopped, right? Like, so as soon as he wakes up, it's Don't Fear the Reaper, and he's like, I love this song.
Me too. Hub says it's a pussy song. She's like, well, it kind of is. It's a love
It's
song.
a love song that doesn't even mention the word poontang. I love that line. Again, she's being cutesy, flirty, sarcastic, but it was so great that that's what she said to him. But now we get the full story, right?
Yeah, he tells the whole...
Kit and Caboodle, we see like the flashback-ish a little bit parts of it.
He's in the crowd and the laser hits him in the face, and then
we see the 2001 shit that he sees.
Right.
The weird, like, he's on a baseball field. There's young him, old him eating dinner. Then we see the flying, floating space baby that's all intelligent in the universe.
He's all fucking
in the diaper and shit. So that way you know he's a space baby.
Yeah.
Because if they don't make it an actual baby,
got Ox 45 in
if they don't make it an actual baby, you wouldn't know he's supposed to be the space baby.
Yeah, it was good.
It was beautiful. And then he's just back, and he's just like, but yeah, it was so crazy. And she's like, maybe you need to lay off drugs.
Yeah, maybe lay off the dope a little bit. And then then Hubs pops in. He's like, dude, get the fuck up here. Dude, why? I'm making fucking progress down here. Leave me alone.
Dude, you're skipping a part, and it's not a big part, but I only want to mention it because it's important. We mentioned it earlier. He asked her about Mondo Man again.
Oh, yeah, he did ask her about Mondo Man.
We can't skip that because, like I said it earlier, it's been eating at his brain for the whole movie.
45 minutes past that fucking part, and he's just like, who is that guy?
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
I can't. You have to tell me who the fuck Mondo Man is.
That's why I was saying we can't skip that part yet, because literally it is like a defining part of his character for this story. It's eating away at his head. And she's still just like, oh, he's just some this dude.
He's kind of weird like you.
But he's actually kind of cool now that I think about it.
And I'm like, oh, you're into weird guys. That's fine.
Two other things before we have Hubs show up. One, she catches a whiff of the chair.
Oh, yeah. She's like, what's that smell? He's
so
like,
funny.
I have no idea.
And then two, you almost skip the part where she just randomly looks at him and goes, do you think I have a fat ass? Oh, yeah. Again, these are not important.
They're not
But they are
either.
things I want to say before we get to the Hubs thing.
That bothered her.
It did, dude. That's why I wanted to say it. She was deeply troubled by the fact that guy said that.
Tack said I had a fat ass.
Right?
I do not have a fat
You don't
ass.
think
Do you
it's
think I have a
fat
fat ass? Do you have to tell me, please?
Now we can get to Hubs coming down the stairs.
Shows up and just he's
being king creepy too.
Ruins everything. This was fucked up, dude.
This was fucked up on everybody's part.
Yeah.
This is one of those, like if you watch Reddit, you see the Reddit things. This is like, am I the asshole? Are they the asshole? This is everybody's the asshole
here
right
here.
here.
Definitely.
Because even as much as I like Joe, and Joe doesn't technically do anything wrong,
he did still leave.
He leaves it to interpret that he did something wrong
because he goes upstairs.
Yeah. Let's not go any further. We need to set it up for everybody. We're getting too far.
Go ahead.
So Hubs comes downstairs and he's like, dude, she's all keyed up. She's ready for you.
I talked to her, man. I felt bad.
I told her it was your birthday.
Bad, right? That's what he says. He's like,
I told her it was your birthday. She's gonna give you a blowjob.
Right? Go on.
She believed that? No, but I convinced her to do it anyway. She feels. I told her about your dad used to
beat your ass all the time, and you're all fucked up. And it's like, God damn, dude, like fuck you. First of all.
And so again, like we said, it's fucked up that he says this.
Yes.
It's fucked up that he talked to a girl about that. It's fucked up that he lied to a girl about that. It's fucked up that he asked her to give his friend a blowjob right after having sex with her.
Yes.
He is bad.
He is not a good person. Fuck Hubs.
Joe, though, does decide to take him up on the offer.
He does go up there.
And at least walk into the room. She's asleep, and he has a moment of realization of, dude, this isn't me.
And kind of covers her up.
Yeah.
And, okay. And then tries to go back downstairs.
And we see Jill and Hubs going at it on the couch.
And
so
she
again,
just looks at him like, well,
no, Jill, again, this is the part where Jill did things wrong, but Jill did things wrong in response to, this is why everybody's
an asshole, right? Because he went upstairs, so she's like, well, fuck you, I'll show you.
And the looks let you know that. Like, she is literally looking at him like, I'm doing this because you
went to go fuck my friend.
If it's good enough for the goose, it's good enough for the gander.
Right? If you're going to be that way, I'm going to be this fucking way.
Right? And so, like, I'm not saying I understand it. I'm not saying I think it's okay.
Everybody is a dick.
But everybody everybody fucked up. And we can definitely leave it at that.
Definitely agree with that.
We'll wrap this scene up really quick since we've already essentially gave it all to you. But we gave you the answer. They're all assholes. So Hubs though finally does get off of her because they hear some commotion outside.
Oh no.
Crump's brother, he shows up. He wants his chicks.
Those are my chicks. And this is the super fucked up thing. Jill's like, I have no idea who that fucking guy is. So neither of these bitches have met Crump's brother. So he just saw them at a distance and went mine and was gonna just show up at this house.
Well, that's exactly
That's fucked up.
They because they don't know where which is so messed up.
Never seen him before.
Where did he even? He's barely been out of prison. Where did he see them at?
Because the way he hears it told, he's already talked to him, had it set up, ready to go, right?
Yep.
No, he was gonna kidnap these poor bitches, and he's out there pissed off, beating the shit out of the fucking door, trying to kick it in. And Hubs wants to leave. He's like, yeah, we gotta get out of here. Sorry, babe. You know how it fucking is. Joe though is like, no, fuck that, dude. We can't do that. We can't do that to them. He's gonna do
what's he gonna
awful things.
If he was gonna kill us, he's gonna
do shit to these bitches, and we can't just leave them here.
And so we see him finally starting to get a spine
a little bit.
You know, like earlier he just barely did.
Yeah,
now he's getting a little more like it's incrementally. We see him get his spine, right? They both pick up fireplace pokers.
Hell yeah, they do.
This is intense.
That's the way it is, man. You got a big dude like that kicking your freaking door in.
Crump's brother literally kicks his foot through the door, and they wail on
They
it.
start wailing on him.
Then he shoves his head through the door.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Straight up fucking The Shining.
Chicks. He's trying to get the lock open. Hubs goes in to try and grab him and shit, and he fucking pulls him in, and it's a big fight, and they're hitting him with the thing.
And Joe is the one that saves the day. Fuck a bunch of Hubs gets caught like a bitch at the door.
He's getting choked, like one-armed, like a bitch.
Right. Once he breaks him free, and they run into the kitchen, they think they're okay for a minute, which I don't even understand.
I don't get it. They just kind of stop, right, and they just pull out a cigarette, like, man, we're gonna get our asses kicked.
And then
totally worth it, though, right?
Yeah. But then Hubs is like, that chick was. The chick was dope. And then Joe didn't even, I mean, there wasn't even a facial expression, but just Hubs is instantly like, you didn't, did you?
You blew it again. I should kick your ass myself, dude.
And Joe comes clean and admits the truth, and you see Jill's face.
She's like, oh, fuck, you didn't?
She has this moment of both, like,
happy, and then, oh, I'm an asshole.
And attraction.
Of like, oh, you are a good guy. It all happens in like,
so
good actors. It all happens
really,
at the same time,
I can see it.
All in a look, those three things. It was really good.
But before we even have a moment to really appreciate that,
because they're like, we're gonna die, right?
Now is when we hear the other people getting shit knocked out of them outside.
There's even more commotion going on.
Jill's dad.
Daddy's home. Oh no.
He is not happy.
No, he is very much not happy. But not because Jill has dudes over. He doesn't get real mad until Lainey walks down from downstairs.
He's totally all
mad
Lainey.
That somebody was banging Lainey, and he desperately wants to do that himself because he's a creepy old bastard. That's my piece.
He's so mad he starts breaking his own shit.
Yeah, like he flips the fuck
kicks his own shit in the house.
Kicks his own shit, and the dude, Hubs and Joe try to fucking run.
He calls the cops.
He even's like, when he gets a hold of Joe and shit, he's just like, I'll teach you not to mess with another guy's chicks. It's like, dude, that's not okay. Hubs drops out through the fucking window.
Hubs runs.
He jumps through the second story window like an asshole and just leaves.
I will say, Joe got his, right? Because as soon as old man starts lecturing him, he goes and he grabs himself a cup full of ice. Piss cubes.
Remember from earlier?
Pours his whiskey in it. From it, dude is an alcoholic. Because it wasn't even like a flask, right? It was a glass bottle. So he's buying new bottles every day to keep in his fucking pocket. True alcoholic. But he pours himself his whiskey.
Takes a drink.
Sits down.
In the puke chair, big squish.
So again, Joe knows.
Joe is trying not to laugh over there. He's trying to keep it.
He takes a big swig of that.
Ew, what the hell?
And he still was just like, yeah.
And still drinks it.
It's disgusting. It's cool.
It's cool because fuck him.
Joe knows, and it makes him feel better, and that's all that fucking matters. Yep. But then he starts ragging on his daughter, dude.
Yeah, right? He's, I'm so disappointed in you and blah, and all this shit.
And fawns all over Lainey. Like, he rags on her.
You're so beautiful. You could have it all. I don't understand understand why you just give it away to everybody except for me.
God bless spine fucking growing Joe, because he stands up and he says,
Man,
what about you?
What about you
fucking
in the
dirty old
creepy
man?
bikini?
He bought her a bikini and he said, what'd you say to me?
There was real puka shells. It was the thing. Like, no, you bought that so you could watch her out by the pool and sport wood, you creepy bastard.
Don't fucking lie to us.
And
And
shit.
she's
just
like,
yeah, Warren.
What about that?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Sweet.
I watch you, son of a bitch.
Sweet.
He's like,
all right,
oh.
and so then we feel we're starting to feel lost again though, because I mean he's still got no exit. He's got nothing.
And Dad's really pissed and about to beat his ass. But look,
Finally,
in
Hubs,
the distance, it's Hubs.
He comes back, saves his boy.
Throws an umbrella through the fucking window, dude. It was awesome. And then they just book it, right? Because the cops are coming to get all the people on the front, and we get our last little bit of Officer Dean. One more. They used to call me Doggy Door Dean. I used to want to go breaking into chicks' houses at night and stuff. It's like, dude, shut up. Doggy Door Dean was enough. You didn't have to elaborate further.
Second floor man.
Second floor man. He went and stole that underwear. He was a creep.
It all makes sense now.
It does.
All the stories together paint a dirty, dirty
dude,
story.
he is a dirty, dirty man.
And so again, we're starting to wrap it up. Jill runs outside
And stops Joe because they're trying to bail.
Yeah,
'cause the
and
cops
she's
are
like,
coming.
wait, before you go though, I gotta let you know, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I made a shitty call on you. I was wrong.
You're
you made a shitty
cool.
call. I mean,
Why didn't you go for me?
Basically, they have a moment of everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
Let's just start over.
And
then he makes his move.
big
She's like, why didn't you
smoochies.
make a move? And he's like, I was waiting. And then
I was
he was
working my way up to
and
it.
she makes
then
fun
he-
of him for it.
And then he goes and makes his move.
Thankfully.
And
then she's
yay.
like, he's like, oh yeah. She says, you should call me sometime. It's like, all right, I will. What's your last name? I'll look it up.
What did you write it down?
Yes.
Okay.
Wasuskowitz.
Wasuskowitz. There is no fucking way he is remembering that.
No.
Or finding it.
And I love, we'll go ahead and say it happens in 3 minutes, so it's not like we're jumping over much. But the last thing is a callback to that. He literally looks at fucking Joe. I mean, he looks at Hubs and he's like, how do you even spell
that?
Wasuskowitz?
Right? There's no fucking way.
No.
But she says bye to him when he leaves, like she knows she's never seeing him again. So that was good.
Before we get there, we do see them. They're all in their car. Before they even get to the car, they run into the Buffalo chicks again.
And there's one missing.
There's two.
There's only two.
And they're like,
where's the other one? You know how it is. She was blowing the ratio.
and they were like, oh shit.
Oh,
and they jumped in the car. Because
nope.
obviously they were doing it because we've not seen any other duos. They're the only duo. They were coming for those
They
two.
were hunting him down. They were coming for him.
Now's the moment that we've been waiting all movie for. It's Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon.
Real Frankie Avalon.
He pulls up in a sweet convertible, sunglasses.
I want to point out before we go any further, did you notice as the scene started there was a random beer can in the street?
I did not.
It was the way for them to know where they should
to
stop the
for
two cars.
For the shot. Nice.
So go back and look for the beer can.
This is a beer can in the middle of
Yeah.
it. This is your mark.
Yep.
This
Both of you
45
stop
right
when you're
here.
right there.
This is it.
But yeah, so we see Frankie Avalon. He's in the sweet convertible. He rolls up to the boys and he's like, "Hey, I heard there was some sweet chicks here at this
Right?
party." And they're like, "It's over there by the Frankie Avalon place." Not even a nod to the fact that it's him.
That it is
right?
actually
like
Frankie Avalon.
He's just
he
like,
should have at least went like, I know where that is.
Nothing though. He just
Nothing.
goes,
He's
"Thanks, boys."
Thanks, boys. And then off he goes.
Now's when I'll point out this was supposed to be a William Shatner cameo.
That
I
would've
don't
been
know what the
way
deal with
cooler.
it would have been. I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know if it was a thing that I don't know if it never was going to happen. If it's wishful thinking that it was going to, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Knowing Shatner, he wanted too much money.
Yeah, well, this was 94.
Oh.
This was like the middle of that old man Shatner trying to do fucking
When he was telling all the
800 commercials.
He was
and
telling
stuff.
those Star Trek fans to get a life.
Yeah. So I don't definitely probably.
Yeah, probably. Crotchety old man Shatner. I'm glad he grew out of that.
But so the last little bit that we get here is Joe and Hubs riding around. Like we already said,
They've switched places though, because now
Joe's driving,
Hubs is on the other side,
and he's looking coward, right?
He's kind of slouched down a little bit because he's like, "No, fuck you, dude. I like that chick."
Yeah, well, exactly. Like he asked about the Wasukowitz thing, and he starts to give him shit about it. And
Man,
he's
thank
like,
God
fuck
you didn't even pork that bitch, man.
He's like, fuck you, dude.
Fuck you, I dig her.
And I agree. Fuck Hubs,
yeah,
man.
fuck Hubs, man. He fucking punches him in the fucking chin. Even
deserved it, dude. That
Been
that
waiting
chin
the
punch
whole
was fucking
fucking
great.
movie.
Then throws him in the headlock
And,
just like he did
say she's cool. Say she's fucking cool.
Say it. And he does, and he's like, good, that's right.
And then he kind of slouches down in the chair. He's like,
And then,
damn, man.
And then Joe does the fucking penultimate best fucking thing ever, and he grabs the shit, whatever was in there, and
throws it out,
shoves in Don't Fear the Reaper.
Fuck you. You're damn right. We're gonna listen to my music now. Joe's in charge.
And now that we see he's grown his spine, he looks in the rear view. He sees the eyeball. Doesn't freak out. He says something startled, but he doesn't freak out like the other times. Yeah. He's not scared this time, right?
Like
he's embraced it.
It's like,
he's embraced it. And as soon as we see that, as soon as he's embraced the eyeball, it goes away. Like it's some kind of guardian angel that was waiting for him to finally come into his own.
Be a man and grow a spine and shit, right?
And this being an independent movie, who knows? Maybe that is the point.
That is the point.
Because that's the kind of things that happen.
The director.
That's the movie, though. That's where it ends, except for two things. One, the movie, before we get credits, we get a giant tagline on the screen that says, "No chicks were harmed in the making of this motion picture,"
which I thought was really funny.
So great. Again, guys, by no means do we agree with all of the terminology and shit,
but it's funny. Just watch it.
It's from a time. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's good.
And then this is another movie that had a post-credit scene.
God damn it.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it because this wasn't a thing to me in the 90s. And when we've had two of these now, counting this one, where they've had post-credit scenes in the fucking 90s. The fuck?
All right. So the post-credit scene...
Fill me in.
...is just... it's Joe and Hubs. They're like leaving a record store. And when they leave the record store, two dudes off camera yell, "Hey, you! In the cult jacket." Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult, yeah.
They're like, "What?" And they turn around, and it's two members of Blue Oyster Cult. Again, this is 94, so they're not looking like they did
in the like concert footage they used in the movie.
But so they're trying to sell them Blue Oyster Cult t-shirts to Joe and Hubs. And Joe and Hubs are like, he's like, "Man, they're authentic from the tour. You definitely want to get them." And Joe looks at him and goes, "Those are fake. Those are counterfeit. We are not buying those. We're out of here. We're out of here.
Kiss my ass."
And then they turn around and leave. That's it. That was the scene. It's not much. You didn't miss a lot.
All right. At least it wasn't like setting up for like a fucking sequel or some shit.
This is not the MCU.
Stoned Age 2. The Hunt for Tack.
That's the movie, though. That was. Did you like it?
I did. I liked this movie.
Again, I
love movies like this that I've not seen.
This is definitely, like I said, this is much more Spirit of 76 level obscure. Again, the amount of
hidden gems, man. Yeah, those are the best ones.
And I would still say Toy Soldiers is a hidden gem, but as we mentioned earlier,
not as hidden as we thought.
It's just it was hidden. It
doesn't get advertised.
People don't talk about it.
Talk about it more. Tell your friends. Post our memes and shit.
Do
everywhere.
Whatever you gotta do.
Let people know about Toy Soldiers.
Let people know about this one. And if you haven't seen it, go see it yourself.
Go see
That's what this is
Age.
all about. We want to share these great movies. That way, other people might want to see them. Talk about them.
Right. Keep it alive.
As for the drink, I mean, there's not a lot to say here.
Do you like candy canes?
It's straight peppermint schnapps, guys. It tasted like peppermint.
York peppermint patty fan.
I will at least say ours is most likely of a better variety than the cheap gallon jug thing that they were drinking from.
Paid $1.54 back in 1976.
Right? So I don't feel like I'm gonna hork.
No,
we've got that going for us.
Pretty good.
I feel pretty good.
Nice minty fresh.
Definitely, my breath feels amazing. Right. I don't think we need to say much more about the drink than that.
Schnapps, man.
So what do we got on board for next week?
Next time we are doing High Wire Brewing's Strongman Coffee Milk Stout.
That's our clue. Yep. But I just gotta say, man, I'm glad we're doing a stout again.
I'm glad we're going back to a beer.
Well, not even just a beer, dude. A stout.
A stout.
You know me. You know us.
We
nice dark beer.
We get a lot of IPAs on this show. We really do. And I love me a dark beer.
But you're right. After 2 weeks of minty craziness, I'm ready for something that's not a minty experience.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, I think that's everything, man.
All right. Well, remember, everybody, the seasons don't fear the reaper, and neither should you. Break out the tall boys. I'm sick of this shit.
Hey, I got some chicks.